Hey, what's up? What's up? Let me make sure the mic is on. Hey, what's all right? It's all good. How y'all doing this morning? How y'all doing? I got to go a little deeper in addressing this. Now, y'all know online media personality Tasha K. Her channel is, I believe, Unwind with Tasha K. Now she is being dragged by the FBAgents. Yes, I'm going to say FBAgents. Hey, how you doing? Good morning, Azure TV. Yeah. Now, why is she being dragged? Because she dared to go against. Hold on, where's the image? Since I can't share, I got to pay for StreamYard if I want to share. Hold on. How dare Tasha K say anything against the Eva Netanyahu? The agenda. Hold on. We gotta find the, because I can't use StreamYard to share images. So how dare she interferes with the plans, with the possible plans to go against the alliance. So yeah, you know my theory. I believe this whole thing. Remember that Simpsons episode? Even that neon. You know what I'm talking about. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, how coincidental. You have this, you have the Sahel Alliance that has formed, and since then you've had a lot of anti-African rhetoric. Yeah, and I believe there are going to be further plans going into, the United States military perhaps getting involved with what's going on in West Africa, finding excuses to get involved. So this is my belief. And they are going to need, they need you to be as patriotic. We, the Black Americans who Tariq Nasheed would refer to as FBAs, they want us, this is my belief, they want us to be on board with that. Like, would you be willing to go against people who may be of the same DNA haplogroup as yourself, who may share the same phenotype as yourself, who could just as easily be racially profiled as yourself, definitely in this country? Would you be willing to be behind, let's say, if they were to do something like they did with those young girls at that school in Iran, dropping a tomahawk on them in a school full of girls? Would you be down with that? Would you be supportive of that? They want to recruit you. That's my belief. And I have a right to my belief. And they need to get, so I believe a lot of these people up in the uplands. Yes, I said it. That's what I believe. Oh yeah, I'm getting on, Tasha K. Yeah, because I got a question that she's apologizing. Did you get off code? Did she get off code? Did you get off code, Tasha K? You weren't supposed to respond on impulse like that. But I understand people when it comes to their own family and their own personal, of course, it's expected. This is expected that you're going to get a little off code. Because I'm not very fond of Tasha K. Never really was. I'm not really with the whole, people who are just about gossip, and especially against their own people. But one thing I can say, that's what she was about, as far as I know, from the jump. She didn't come up in here under this guise of pro-blackness. She was always about Correct me if I'm wrong though, but as far as I knew, she's always been about celebrity gossip. So yo, you know, whether I like it or not, that's what she always been about. Unlike some of these people coming up in here under the guise of pro-blackness and black liberation and all of that. And they're all for melanoid nation. They weren't just for, you know, black people in the United States, but they wanted you to believe that they were for melanated people all over the continent. And they used the history of these people when it was convenient for their documentaries and, you know, selling merchandise and Ogun juice and using African deities and all that stuff when it was convenient. No, I don't. It's not about whether or not I trust Tasha K, but if I'm to play along, why would she be apologizing? Why would you be apologizing considering your children who would be referred to as feathers? Why would you be that's what I also want to point out. So why would, and on earth would you be apologizing considering your husband, the man you married? I'm not apologizing for Ish. Somebody attacking my husband like that, and my children and my lineage, I'm not going to be apologizing for that. Because they want to say that she attacked the lineage, but she did not. She did not attack Black Americans. You are not foundational. FBA is not on the census. Okay, it is not acknowledged by. You're noticed as Black Americans by census. You're noticed as African American, I believe. But what Tariq Nasheed has more specifically hashtag, that is not in the census. She did not apologize, and I'm going to show what I'm talking about. But what am I talking about? Yeah, so right, FBA. I don't know. It might be in Wikipedia now, but oh wait, I think it is. I think it is. Wait, it is in Wikipedia, but they made sure to kind of detach, like almost like Tariq Nasheed put it, but don't want his name to be mentioned. Of course, I mean they're doing everything that points to an HATE group. Wait, I think I did though. Hold on. Let me see if it's in. Let me see. I think they did have something. Yeah, they do. Hold on. Remember, I showed this not that long ago. This is very recent, but I noticed that somebody, because you can add things to Wikipedia. That's why we can't always automatically trust what Wikipedia says, as I remember us being informed. Because somebody put the article is missing information about Tariq Nasheed's relationship with this term. I could tell somebody added this. Please expand the article to include this information. Further details may exist on the talk page. Okay. Yeah, whatever the talk page is. So yeah, they talk about, but let me search and see if they got Tariq Nasheed. Yeah, this is the only time you see his name mentioned, even though he put a patent on this from the jump. From the time he began to use that term, foundational Black Americans, from the time he coined that term, made it a hashtag, made the acronym a hashtag, popularized it, he put a patent on it. Unlike African American, which we had been called for a decade before people started using it for the product, you know, using it and trademarking it. From the very beginning, Tariq Nasheed, as I have shown you, if y'all care so much about the lineage, it's not a brand, it's not a movement. And he's also been contradicted saying this movement. Haven Bullets, aka Haven Bernardez, showed him contradicting himself, saying that it's a movement. Hold on. As I have shown y'all, and we'll get back to this, but let's share what it is that Tasha, yeah, as I've shown y'all, in 2019, this is, you know, from the very beginning, from when you, and I do believe it was around that time that you started hearing him reference foundational Black Americans. And from the very beginning, October 2019, that's the earliest patent trademark that I see on foundational Black Americans. You said look at the edit history. Let me see what you're saying in on the Wikipedia page. That is, yeah. I don't think that this has been up long though. But I just know when I had last did not that long ago when I did a live stream last month. Hold on, when I found this, and I believe that the Tariq is behind this Wikipedia page. I mean, this is. Let me see the references down here. I'm assuming, yeah, foundational. Okay, News One, Ebony. Yeah. Yeah, so let's play what is it that Tasha K said. Let's play, and because I want to hear it in fuller context because I noticed that there. Oh, okay, he's saying the edit history described the page as under source. Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying that. All that I'm saying is that. Yeah, I do. I'm not saying that it's. No, I don't think it's some. No, this isn't something that's acknowledged by the government, or you know what I'm saying. No, this is not on the census. I don't believe that this is going to. I believe that this is just a part of some. So this is some social media ish, but I do believe it's part of a bigger agenda. I do believe there are bigger puppet masters behind this, but I have my theories. But no. So she did not insult with what she said. Now, I just don't like the channel. Period. I think it's insulting the Black. When all you. But in this case, she did not. What she said here was not insulting Black Americans. And let's play this, okay, in fuller context because I noticed there's something that they're avoiding. And I noticed even that something Tariq Nasheed is avoiding. Ooh, she compared us to the KKK. They are so slick. Y'all are I'm questioning all of these channels now. All of y'all channels. All of your channels. And some channels that are I'm noticing responding that's very surprising. Because I remember a couple of years ago when something about them was called out. I'm questioning all these channels that's now, yo, there might just be some people going on with the hashtag get views or anything. We all want views. We wouldn't be up in here talking and making videos if we didn't want views and listeners, at least to some degree. But there, you see, but are your priorities in order? Like I could just jump on there and use the hashtag and then go along with the flow of what's popular up in here and get way more views and supporters and blow up. But my priorities are in order. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But let's hear what she said. Okay, I think I got it. Fair use, fair use. I can't put up being that I'm paid for StreamYard this time. But and by the way, how you doing? This on TV? Janet Apun, Jason Edwards, Roots and Rhetoric. Who else is here with me? If I miss your name, that's Brian Fuller. All right, all those who are listening. Benazoid, how you doing, sweetheart? Oh, okay. All right, let me play this. This was from a recent stream she did about 2 days ago, and you see they own it, just like they follow Godfrey around, just waiting for him to say something that they could try to use, because they must get us to not like him or trust any foreign Black person, supposedly foreign, or especially if they're African, even more so if they're African. All right. So let's go ahead and play this. This was from her stream, Fair Use, Fair Use, 2 days ago. She's, she's talking about Michael B. Jordan. She's talking about various people. But when she got around to young Pharaoh, yeah, I didn't listen to all this. I just, wanted to hear in fuller context what she said in regards to FBA that everybody's responding to. Because otherwise, I don't really watch her channel. I'm not really fond of this type of content. But anyways,
my skin I'm kind of boiling inside a little bit because I was asked about what I thought about, I guess, foundational Black Americans in their movement. And I know that there's a subgroup of this, and I do know my name gets brought up a lot, you know, when it comes to this. What does Tasha stand for? Who does she look up to? Who is her God? Is what I get, okay? And so when Charleston White had brought up that a lot of our little girls should look up to a Clarissa and want to be a Clarissa.
By the way, I got to sped up just a little bit, just to try to avoid copyright issues.
You know, I have to respectfully disagree, because that's why a lot of our young girls are lost now, because they don't know themselves and too busy trying to follow everyone else. And so when I was on TikTok Live the other day, and I was asked about FBA and what I thought about it, and I said, you know, I can't talk about that, because that would be me talking against my own kids, me talking against my grandfather, my family. But here's the response, because they were trying to set me.
Okay, so she's saying she can't talk against what, you know, FBA, or I guess she's saying Black Americans in that case.
Yeah. But here's their response to me not answering the question. And then I'm gonna respond to this. Okay, so here we go. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning.
Now, I wonder this for myself.
Hold on. Damn it. Why does she have Erykah Badu in the background? Okay. I ain't gonna play it. So here's the thing. They called my husband an African booty scratcher. They said
it's interesting they had these callers, just like what happened with Godfrey. You know, it makes me wonder. These, like, certain people almost like being set up, but or this could all be a part of the agenda. This could all be, you know, is Tasha K in on it? You know, this could all be a part of the agenda, using her to teach everyone else a lesson or whatever.
Said that I cannot speak. I ain't gonna play it. So here's the thing. They called my husband an African booty scratcher. They said that I cannot speak on the foundational Black American movement because I'm married to a booty scratcher. Which they're entitled to their opinion. That's fine. That's totally fine. But here's what I think about the FBA movement and any other movement that has to do with Young Pharaoh, Brother Polite, Dr. Umar Johnson, all of these movements that y'all look up to, all these men, okay, that I guess guide you to help elevate your consciousness in these movies. Even Tariq Nasheed, ain't his wife like half white or something? Ain't Tariq Nasheed wife like half white? But here's what I would say about the FBA movement. It's no different than the KKK. Meant to divide. Meant to.
Now notice, she kept saying, here's what I say about, okay, she talked about specific people. I'll give grace to Umar Johnson. But she pointed out certain people, specific people, individuals, okay, that happen to be men, that happen to be that have been these voices in YouTube, and more so in social media, rather, that people have been following. Yes, like there were followers of Young Pharaoh, followers, and you know, they're being perceived as leaders even. Okay, she was talking about these individuals and their agenda or their movement or whatever they call it. That's what she was talking about. Notice, she didn't say Black Americans or even just FBA. She said, this is what I think about their movement. She didn't just talk about Black Americans. Okay? Now, I'm not fond of Tasha K. I question all of this. But if I'm just to play along and just go by what I'm saying here, let you know, forget all else that she says and that I disagree with, you know, on her channel, that is, with all the gossip against Black people, just going by what she's saying here. Okay? Oh, yeah, you said the person who created the FBA wiki page is from Northridge, California. They have charter communication internet. Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, Wikipedia is allowing it. But no, it's not something.
I guess guide you to help elevate the FBA movement to their opinion. That's fine. That's
people know this too. They're acting like they're offended. This is fake. That's why I question all y'all channels. All of y'all channels that's supporting this. All of y'all. Now, some might just be, you know, they just try to, I got to jump over what everybody else is saying. I got to be popular and this give me more views and make me more money. And, you know, okay, all right. But you still, you know, you still bullshitting. And I'm sorry. I question all of y'all with the fake outrage and the selective outrage. I question all of y'all. Where are the real? What happened to the real people up in here? Are there any real people left in YouTube now? Seriously, I'm for real. Because I question all of y'all. Because if you don't see by now, after all that's been pointed out, and you're overlooking what else she said, I noticed that they only want to pinpoint where the FBA and KKK comparison. Ooh, we're supposed to be so outraged. Yeah. Hold on, let's hear it again. Did she say Black Americans or even just FBA? Even though I'm not going to go along with that hashtag.
Foundational Black American movement. They called my husband.
By the way, one more time. I am what they would want to call FBA. Born in Chicago, family from the South on my mom and daddy's side. Although I do have siblings, like my oldest brother, his wife, her dad is Jamaican. Thus, ain't nobody gonna be calling my nieces tethers and shit. My brother's 4 daughters. And even so, if you want to call them, yo, as long as they ain't y'all.
African booty scratcher. So here's the background. Okay. I ain't gonna play it. So here's the thing. They called my husband an African booty scratcher. They said that I cannot speak on the foundational Black American movement because I'm married to a booty scratcher. Which they're entitled to their opinion. That's fine. That's totally fine. But here's what I think about the FBA movement and any other movement that has to do with Young Pharaoh, Brother Polite, Dr. Umar Johnson.
Did she say, here's what I have to say about the FBA movement. So why are y'all saying that she compared Black Americans to the KKK? Why are you saying she compared a lineage to the KKK? Quit saying that. You keep talking about how FBA is not first of all, it's not even on the census. And you don't, if Tariq Nasheed respected this lineage from the jump, he would not put a patent. You're saying, oh, well, there's a patent on African American. First of all, African American or Blacks of African, that has been acknowledged by the census going back to actually the 18th century. Even if it wasn't African/American, going back to like 1790. They were referencing us as being taken from Africa. Okay? Whether or not, you may not agree, you may not, there are those of us who know that we are also Yasharel, but we don't, But that is what's on the census. How that's been recognized even before you had. From the very beginning, your leader, your father, Tariq Nasheed, that is where if Tariq Nasheed did not exist, you would not be using that term FBA. That's the bottom line. Am I right or am I wrong? You would be, if you were referencing FBA, you'd be talking about Amazon or some shit. Hey, Miss Cardio Queen, Mr. K, Tariq Nasheed, so-called FBA. Luke, he is your father. Darth Vader is your father. Accept it. Maury Pope, the test result is in. You are the father, Tariq Nasheed. Take responsibility for your children. Take responsibility for your children. Stop being a deadbeat dad. Take responsibility. You are the leader. Y'all would not be calling y'all, so you would not be referencing. And that's the thing, you got to question all of these little acronym, hashtag, FBA, ADOS, ISUPK. You got to question a lot of these. Yeah, I said it. A lot of these little acronym, alphabet boys and girls. very questionable. All these little hashtags that become these like acronym hashtags. Now, again, she said the movement, but she didn't say the people. She said the movement and their leaders all having questionable backgrounds. Okay, right. I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm not even familiar with Star Wars. I know it's hard to accept. I know it's hard to accept, Luke. He is your father. Wait, is my voice deep enough? James Earl. Yeah, like y'all need to stop playing. Damn, stop playing. That's why I know y'all full of ish. Y'all stop playing. Gosh, where are the real people? I guess they've gotten rid of all of us, huh? Or just some smart enough to just, unlike myself, to just, I can't deal with this no more. Y'all, we can't be driven crazy though. We can't get to the point where now I gotta say this, my brother, new possibility. We can't let him get to the point where we're co-signing and high-fiving Tommy. No. We gotta snap out of it. I know it's like, what happened to the real people over here? I didn't say we were perfect or right about everything, but at least we spoke what we really felt. Y'all know y'all ain't outraged by Tasha. Y'all know this. He's like, y'all just jumping on this. This is fake outrage. Just cut it out. Cut it out. You're offended by Godfrey. Godfrey ain't offending you. Just cut it out. Just fake outrage. All of y'all so fake up in here now.
Man, that's fine. That's totally fine.
Hold on.
Booty scratcher.
Y'all be back.
They said that
y'all be back listening to Tasha K gossip tomorrow. So shut up.
Okay. I ain't gonna play it. So here's the thing. They called my husband an African booty scratcher. They said that I cannot speak on the foundational Black American movement because I'm married to a booty scratcher. Which they're entitled to their opinion. That's fine. That's totally fine. But here's what I think about the FBA movement.
Here's what I think about the FBA movement.
And any other movement that has to do with young Pharaoh.
And any other movement that has to do with these particular individuals who she named.
Brother Polite, Dr. Umar Johnson. All of these movements that y'all look up to. All these men.
She didn't, hold on. Solo Beats, how you doing, sir? But she did not, well, let me see. You said she apologized, Tasha K, for comparing us to the KKK when we have never done anything based on hatred. Who are we? I'm a black man. I'm not with FBA though. Are you calling yourself FBA? Well, she's not talking about me. I may be, although, well, I know I'm of Yasharel, but by law, I guess, I am Black American. All right. And I don't have any, and it's not saying that person of Jamaican descent is not Black American, but I am, I don't have any ties as far as I know to the Caribbean or any direct ties or anything like that, as far as I know. My family descended from those who were enslaved in the South. Yeah, but I'm not FBA. Now, she said, and even so, she didn't compare you to the KKK, Solo Beats, even if you consider yourself, even if you decide to refer to yourself as FBA, she did not refer to you as the KKK. She said specifically, let's stop playing. I want to be nice, but stop playing. Stop playing. You're not outraged by Tasha K. Stop. Just stop. I know my people well enough. If you're Black American, I know my brothers. I know you ain't outraged by no Tasha K saying that. I know you ain't outraged. So please, let's stop playing. Stop playing. She did not stop playing. I hope you're getting paid. Stop playing. She did not say that you were the KKK. She didn't say that. I have a feeling you're talking about her husband being a tether. I have a feeling if she had a husband that was white, y'all would have more respect. Or even if he was Wait, but I noticed that Tariq Nasheed didn't address, he made sure that you don't focus on what else she said. Tariq Nasheed's, why is a person who has a grandparent from the Bahamas, how in the hell are they a tether, but you can have a whole non-black parent and not be a tether? Can you make that make sense? It's okay. I'm gonna ask you this, and I'm gonna wait for you to answer. Is Tariq Nasheed's wife a tether? Please tell me, right? I'm gonna wait for that answer. If she is a tether, and if her husband, and if she's a tether, which is what Tariq Nasheed, and I'm gonna play that, trying to insinuate, is Tariq Nasheed's wife a tether? And in her case, she said a grandparent is from the Caribbean. But Tariq Nasheed, his wife, she has a whole non-black parent. And I definitely believe, because he even insinuated this, that his wife, her father, I believe it's true that he is Haitian. Oh, definitely of the West Indies, because he said, you can see, go to Morris World TV, Taharka Bay. He got the receipts on all that, just playing what he said. He was saying in defense of Jamaicans and people of the Caribbean. One time, like saying he got married, and then he said, my wife. He talked about his wife. And then it made sense. Because that's, because I noticed that he seemed to have this respect, at least he did a couple of years ago, for the Haitians. And it wasn't just about the Haitian Revolution and all of that. I definitely believe that he has Haitian in his family, as in with his in-laws. I definitely believe. So that would say, going by what Tariq Nasheed said, that his wife is not at all both of her parents. Wait, please respond. Come on, respond. Respond. I'm waiting. I'm eager to hear your response, because then that's how I will know if you are real, or because I do believe that there are paid subscribers, and plants and bots up in here, bot accounts, paid subscribers, and this will prove my point. If you are truly outraged, then I cannot take you seriously. You have not yet responded. Okay, thank you for letting me know what's up. Thank you for letting me, because you have not yet responded. Yeah, I'm not gonna jump you now. If they come up in here with that, I smell a musty tether talk, their ass is out of here. Because I do know that they like spamming chat rooms and comment sections, because they want the public to think that this is what the majority of Black Americans are thinking. Like I said, I'm on the south side of Chicago. I go out here right now to my neighbor, what's up, my FBA brother? They ain't gonna know what the hell I'm talking about. If I say, hey, that person's a tether, they ain't gonna know what I'm talking about. This is some social media-ish. And they want foreigners, if you will. They want, let's say if you have a Nigerian who hasn't been in the United States, they want them to come in the YouTube and social media and believe that this is how all us Black Americans in mass are talking about them. That's why they spam your comment sections. And do you understand? And it's also a way of kind of bullying you to get on board with what's popular, or you will be clowned and called a musty tether and all that. And that's why I'm giving their ass the exit off my channel. As soon as I think I see, delete. And usually I'm open to, I'm usually not one to be blocking and censoring and striking people and all that stuff. But I see what they're doing with the spamming. Yeah. Let me go ahead and play the rest of, see, so now I know what's up. I ain't want to put you on blast. I'm just saying, you gonna comment. Why is it, hold on. No, please. Okay, you're responding to that. Please, can you respond to me? Is Tariq Nasheed's wife? Let's see. Are you one of these who I suspect to be in a paid subscriber or agent or bot? Is Tariq Nasheed's wife? Would she, or if that's his wife even? Because it may be true that they're not legally married. But I'll play along. Is she The mother of his children. Is she? Or at least some of them. Is she? I mean, don't. You ain't got to say nobody's real name. You ain't got to say the real name. Is Tariq Nasheed's woman okay, was quote unquote Cookie? Is she? Is she a tether? Would she be a tether? So would Tariq Nasheed's children be tethered? That would, because that would say that Tariq Nasheed's children are tethers. Why are y'all overlooking that on purpose? And there's some people up in here you think are respectable YouTubers. Now I see that when they were being exposed years ago, that the people were right about them. Yeah, don't you ain't gotta say the full names and all that, because they since people want to accuse people, even though Tariq Nasheed would dox people in a minute like he did with CD Fury. He just put his info. He wanted to let it be known that I got the power. What was the point of that? All that Zaza Ali did was disagree with him. Yeah, you know, I know all that. I've known all that information. But let's get back to what she was saying. So, as you heard here, she didn't say Black Americans. She didn't say, Tasha K didn't say Black Americans. She didn't say, she didn't even just say FBA alone. She said this movement, and she pointed out, she specifically named certain individuals. Whether you agree or disagree with her about them individuals, she named certain individuals.
Booty scratching.
Only person I might give grace to is Umar Johnson, because I don't think he's that harmful. But she gave, certain, but I do understand why there are people who, the whole school thing with Umar. But he's the only one I would give grace to of those people mentioned, if I were to give grace. So let's go again.
An African.
Now they went at her husband, insulting the man that she actually married, right? Who is of direct African descent. They went at her husband, which is in a way going at her children. They went at the father. Does she have children? Yeah. Yes, she mentioned children. They went at the father of her children. Why the hell are you apologizing, Tasha K? When people went at your, and if you did not go at the people in general. The FBA movement, say it correctly, FBA Thrisky, the FBA movement is called delineation. Okay, then you're part of a movement. And y'all don't even understand what delineation actually means. Delineation, okay, making clarification, that does not mean coming up in here talking about seeing how you could make fun of making caricatures, minstrel caricatures. Why is not and we're going to look at your movement once again. See how much you guys actually focus on the promotion and the protection of Black Americans. Let's see if your channels really, okay, let me see. Do you got a channel, FBA Thrisky? Since it's in your name, let's see if you really about that life, if you really about that, what you believe delineation is. Like if I was talking about specific haplogroups and all of that, and cultures, that would be more so delineation. Like when I talk about the Hamites, Hamitic, those who I believe are Hamitic versus Shemitic, and it's not even a versus thing, but in comparison to Shemitic, that's more of a delineation, like letting you know. It's not necessarily a thing of better than, worse than necessarily, although I do acknowledge as Yah's chosen, but hold on. I'm trying to, hold on. I should be able on my channel. I should be able to go to your channel as being that this is my channel here. Hold on. Give me a sec. Wait, you telling me to focus? Wait, you ain't gonna come up in here telling me what to do on my channel. Now let me see what your channel about. Since you want to, yep, one of these people got just made a channel like yesterday. You just made a channel yesterday. See, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so I see what's up. Look, this person just made a channel like yesterday. See, who are y'all? Who are y'all? Who sent you? Who sent you? This is a person just made it. Bye. I ain't even gonna waste my time on that. You just made a channel yesterday. Hold on. You just made a channel yesterday. I ain't got time for that. Oh, but I got the time to talk about this. Y'all willing? This person just made a channel yesterday. Lord, you see what I'm saying? Hold on. Ooh, did I? No. Ah, wrong thing. Wrong screen to share. Okay. So understand, you come up in here, if you're a parrot, if you're just another parrot, Tariq Nasheed, if I suspect you are a Tariq Nasheed FBA parrot, bot, paid sub, troll, spammer, you will be removed. So don't waste your time. Okay, so once again, she said specific people. She wasn't talking about, so cut the fake outrage.
Booty scratcher.
As a Black American, of all the things to be so offended by, and especially with what's going on in the world, I'm not offended. And I know that y'all are full of crap.
Background. Okay. I ain't gonna play it. So here's the thing. They called my husband an African booty scratcher. They said that I cannot speak on the foundational Black American movement because I'm married to a booty scratcher.
Okay. The father of her children, I believe, if she has children, I think she did mention children. The man that she married, the man she loved, who happened to be African, they reduced him to basically like an animal, like a chimpanzee, scratching another, something, using a term, I'm sure that's very much rooted in white racism. Okay. She's not supposed to be offended. But she didn't even take it out on even the people who came at her. But she took it out. She called out the movement.
Which they're entitled to their opinion. That's fine. That's totally fine. But here's what I think about the FBA movement and any other movement that has to do with young Pharaoh.
She said the FBA movement. Here's what she has to say about the FBA movement and any other movement that has to do with these specific individuals that she names.
Brother Polite, Dr. Umar Johnson, all of these movements that y'all look up to, all these men, okay, that I guess guide you to help elevate your consciousness in these movies. Even Tariq Nasheed, ain't his wife like half white or something? Ain't Tariq Nasheed wife like half white?
Why Tariq in his response, Tariq Nasheed ain't played that part. And yeah, we can all agree his quote unquote wife that has a whole white parent, and he's been open about, even though she could have passed for light skinned Black, but that he's been open about. And he also suggested, you can look on Tariq Bay. I don't feel like looking for all that. He also suggested that his wife was of Caribbean descent. He did suggest that, and this was years ago, before he was on this FBA tip, this delineation tip. He was talking about he had this respect, and that's the thing. He talked like he had respect for these. He actually would put these other, the ones he would now call tethers. He actually would give them more props and respect. There's evidence of him speaking more highly of like Jamaicans, and yeah. But he said, and talking about like he had this respect. Like saying he, talking in defense of like those of like Jamaican descent or the West Indies descent. And he said, my wife, he went into talking about his wife, like suggesting that she is of direct Caribbean descent. So when that person called in and said, your wife's a teller, though, you could tell by the way he was responded, like his ass was caught. That you could tell he was lying. But people, if the receipts are already, people can easily look and they know the background of these, they already know the background. It's already out there. And trust me, he could have went against these people. Some that, like in the case of, and like in the case of Tariq Nasheed, being that he went to court, so he's got receipt. Why would he say something that can end up having him back in court? You understand what I'm saying? So obviously, but let me just continue.
But here's what I would say about the FBA movement. It's no different than the KKK.
She said FBA movement is no different than the KKK. She didn't just say Black Americans. Did she say Black Americans or even just FBA? She said the FBA movement. And even if she did say FBA, I wouldn't be mad at her, because as a Black American, I know that FBA is some Tariq Nasheed-ish. And I believe he has puppet masters. That's my opinion. Non-Black puppet masters.
To divide, meant to. But here's what I would say about the FBA movement. It's no different than the KKK. Meant to divide.
Meant to divide.
Meant to separate you, to isolate you.
Mm-hmm.
To have you looking at other races that look like you and hating them.
They wouldn't necessarily be considered other races, but yeah, other, I get what she's saying, other demographics of quote, they would be anthropologically speaking still put in the category of Black, aka Negroid, although that is no longer being used. That's an outdated term, Negro, Negroid, but they would be still in the same quote unquote race.
And for no reason. That is the same. Isolate you. To have you looking at other races that look like you and hating them for no reason. That is the same foundation and principles that the Ku Klux Klan build themselves on, which is protecting their whiteness, their pureness, not knowing that they are not pure. It's a lie. And I don't get involved in these types of conversations because
it's kind of, I get what she's saying on that tip, because like there was a point though, white people, they all got on code, but like how they look at other Caucasians that are not Anglo, like with the Ish people, but eventually they got all on code. But there was a time, like NYTN on her channel, that was kind of surprising, that it showed that like in the early 20th century, they did not consider Greek people white. Isn't that something? But eventually, especially after World War II, or around the time of World War II, they all got on code and they all became official white people, including the Italians, who they once saw as swarthy because of their Moorish ancestry that many of them had, or some of them, especially if they were from southern Italy.
It's ridiculous. It's very unintelligent to talk about, to even speak on, that I would deny my own children, my own grandfather, my own mother, just to protect what? A movement? Y'all don't put food on my plate? Y'all don't pay none of my bills?
Right.
Y'all sitting in living rooms with bonnets on, causing division because you angry, trying to be accepted no different than against.
They ain't angry. They ain't angry. They're not angry. This is about an agenda. They're getting paid. Or they're trying to get paid. This is about, or maybe in some cases, maybe it is a thing of, witness protection. Maybe it is something more to it. They ain't not angry. They're not angry. Now they're gonna get angry if they're discovered as being frauds that they are, and it is going to happen. They're not angry. Yeah, you do. You do listen to Tariq Nasheed. If Tariq Nasheed didn't exist, you wouldn't be calling yourself FBA Solo Beats. Let's cut the shit. Oh my gosh, y'all. Let's cut the crap. You would not be calling yourself FBA. Where did you learn the term FBA from? Tariq Nasheed. That's where you got the term. Would you be calling yourself, come on, let's keep it real. Would you be referencing yourself as FBA if you never knew about Tariq Nasheed? Okay? This isn't like, Yeah, there may be some of us who call ourselves African American today and don't know what it goes. But this ain't that long ago, y'all. This ain't that long ago. Let's stop. Let's stop playing. Oh my gosh. Come on. You a black American, you say? I know you, brother. I know what's up. I know my people. I got 4 brothers, or I had 4 brothers. I know my people. And I know when we playing.
Gang on gang crime when you got them little boys in Chicago or any other city taking each other out over what? Just because you look different, you said something, now we got adults actually doing this, which leads me to young Pharaoh, because a lot of people are shocked at his downfall.
Well, you know what? I said this on Young Pharaoh years ago. M. Coon Ultra, or y'all know what I'm saying. Dude glitching. I've been saying when he was talking about his bodyguard and all of that, and his demonic satanic energy. But that's another discussion. You talking about his bodyguard? No, I believe that bodyguard was his handler. We got a couple of these ones. Like when I talked about Synergy, I believe that she is a monarch. And so it's something going on also with the state of Washington. I don't know, but anyways, but that's my theory. You ain't got to agree with me on that. But yeah, that's more of what she said. So let me see. Tariq Nasheed is responding. Oh my gosh. And I noticed he's looking faker and faker. Even though this is an AI image, Tasha K receives major backlash. Notice that he wants you the part that they focus on. Very conveniently. Tasha K receives major backlash after disrespecting FBA lineage. Now, if she was dissing anything, it was you and this movement and this agenda, not the Black American lineage. And you know this. Ethnogenesis. Okay.
Brother Polite, Dr. Umar Johnson, all of these movements that y'all look up to, all these men, okay, that I guess guide you to help elevate your consciousness. Here's what I would say about the FBA movement. It's no different than the KKK. Meant to divide.
Put the little thunder sound, because that's what they want you to focus on.
Meant to separate you, to isolate you, to have you looking at other races that look like you and hating them for no reason.
A few moments later.
So now, yes, I see this now. Like, what's this about? So I got a question, Tasha K. They insulted your husband. They insulted the man that you married, and I believe I had children with. Yeah, she did say she had children. They insulted the father of your children, which is in a sense insulting your children, because they would be calling them African booty scratchers too. So what the hell are you apologizing? But let's hear it.
Anybody that felt offended by me referring to them for no reason.
A few moments later.
To anybody that felt offended by me referring to FBA as the KKK, to anybody that I've offended.
She didn't refer to FB. She didn't refer to a lineage or even just FBA as a. So why is she apologizing? She knows she didn't say that. So what's going on here? What is going on?
And hating them for no reason.
A few moments later.
To anybody that felt offended by me referring to FBA as the KKK, to anybody that I've offended, I didn't mean to offend you. I'm completely ignorant when it comes to this movement. I just know how I felt when I was attacked, when my family was attacked, and I decided to just, here we go.
Well, we're going to look at this movement since you were completely in you. So I guess she see the light. Oh, they're not about hateful. Okay, well, let's look at the channels. Let's see what the movement. She's now saying, oh, maybe I had a miss. This ain't no different than what Nick Cannon did when he folded and did this apology. Yeah, so, yeah, okay, all right, okay.
When I was attacked, when my family was attacked, and I decided to just, here we go.
So you apologizing, even though your family was attacked, you're apologizing. And shame on you, Tariq. Shame on you. Just because maybe, because you don't even see Tariq jumping to defend his woman like this. Shame on you, Tariq. I don't even like Tasha K. I really don't. But at least, I respect that she allowed, you know what I'm saying? Because he won't even stand strong on defending his woman like this. And telling people to kiss his ass when it comes to his woman. And just, yeah, she is this. And he can't even do that. He's got to lie and stuff. As I believe. It appears as if he'd rather hide her identity. Even though he had already, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you got to put her personal information out there. But shame on you. And, and even though I'm not fond of Tasha K, she did marry, yes, a brother, a black man. An African man, in fact. But anyways.
When I was attacked, when my family was attacked.
This is disappointing, though. I am disappointed in me seeing this now. Now, I saw it before. I was like, damn, am I actually not agreeing with Tasha K, who I'm not fond of? But, because, it's one thing if you're just reporting celebrity news, but it's always this gossip and this messiness and the tea, and I can't get with that. But I have to respect when you're like, gonna defend your man, gonna defend your family. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Of course, I agree with her on what she's saying on this FBA shit. Wait, hold on. Y'all come up in here. You're not gonna keep. First of all, you never answered my question, so I'm gonna have to block you. If you in the next thing, if you cannot, this is my live stream. So if you cannot answer my question, Solo Beach, you're not gonna be up in here spamming with the same shit y'all keep trying to. No, not gonna dominate and try to distract, so that people can overlook what I'm pointing out and what y'all choose to overlook purposely. You're not going to make out a center of attention with the same old rhetoric. Tariq is your father. You should be mad that daddy is not claiming you as he should. Who's up in here? I'm going to ask you, did you ever he responded? He said, okay, where is it? You said Solar Beast, he did respond and said that his wife. But now you want to make it like, no. You are still, don't try to detach from, otherwise why can't you just call yourself Black American? If this is not about Tariq Nasheed, I'm talking about Tariq Nasheed in this agenda. Then why are you even up in here trying to go against what I'm saying? Who is putting down Black Americans? Why are you here then? I'm talking about, let's say I'm talking about Tariq Nasheed. I'm talking about, if you want to keep calling yourself FBA, that's fine. But I am talking about Tariq Nasheed, SB, and the FB agenda. He coined the term, he hashtagged it, he trademarked it even from the very beginning. From the very beginning. And it is not on the census. So what are you offended about? What are you you don't need to come up in here defending Black Americans. I've been doing that for years up in here. So the only reason you could be up in here is if you are defending Tariq Nasheed. So let's cut the shit. Well, he's not claiming his kid. He's trying to not claim his kids. And they're making excuses for a deadbeat dad. And what's the person talking about Black American men with their kids? I saw something. Who's saying something about against Black American fathers? Who said that? Who is talking about Black American? What are you talking about? I saw something a couple of comments ago while I had the thing playing. What the heck is he talking about? Look, why don't y'all go to y'all channels? If you're proud Black Americans, if I go to your channel right now, okay, hold on. Am I going to see you talking about Black Americans, promoting them? Let's see. Solo Beats, if I go to your channel, your name looks familiar. If I go to your channel right now, okay, you've been here since 2013. You've been here since 2013. Who is stopping you from going? Since you are so passionate about being a foundational Black American, all right, and you've been here since 2013, that's some time now, then you need to be putting out content on Black American history, on Black American pioneers, people past and present, and all of that. Why? But you're passionate when you see some on Tariq Nasheed. You should not just because you should have been doing this even before there was the FBA hashtag. Why is it the FBA that attracts you and not just Black American, which you have been referring to yourself as? Why is it that the FBA that you gotta, so you are a part of this agenda that was concocted by Tariq Nasheed. You are using the talking points. You are, because if you were so passionate about this lineage as you claim, and from your time here in 2013, I would see some sort of content, something. But you want to come up in here the name does look familiar. The name looks familiar. Solo Beats. So who are you really? Tariq is your leader. Would you be calling yourself, here's another question, would you be calling yourself FBA if Tariq Nasheed, well, that's actually a rhetorical question. Okay, so let's cut the shit, okay? You're not going to keep posting the same shit over and over again, all right? Do you think you should put a trademark, a lineage, if you are so passionate about protecting this lineage and if it's something that is so important to you? Yeah, a lot of them, they started off with this manosphere. See, they began causing, like you got this Sperling, you know, the one always trying to scare people, suing people, the lawyer that was with Kevin Samuels. Just a few years ago, I'm like, oh my gosh, you got to be. This wasn't even 5 years ago. Dude was promoting mestiza Latina chicks and from another country, predominantly Caucasian Latina chicks, predominantly not even Black women, but predominantly mestiza Latina chicks from another country. Talking about click if you enticing Black men to go to other countries. End up something happening like your organs missing, found dead organ. I that's what I was wondering. Are they enticing these men to try to get them to go to these countries so something could happen to them? I ain't know what to think. Like, because something is really fishy about this. But you have these people who were doing Red Supreme, doing all this causing division between Black American men and women. But that wasn't enough. So now they're trying to do that. I got to question all of y'all. I was the one initially. Oh, yeah, and they found female tokens now with this FBA. And come to find out, one of them females exposed as being a divester just like a couple years ago. She was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. I'm just waiting for Cynthia G to jump on the trade, the FBA trade. She's if you are this passionate about your people and your lineage and to the point where you're looking, because you're probably more than likely not even subscribed to my channel, which tells me that you are typing in. Yeah, it's like y'all are being paid to every day look for videos. Whoever's, so I'm definitely hashtagging. I got your attention, but you're not gonna take over my live stream. That ain't happening. But anyways, oh, and it's interesting. See, people like me though, I lose channels. But yo, see, that's the thing. I got to lose. They came at 4 of my channels. These people don't get touched. These people, all the divisive, hateful rhetoric I done heard from and now these people want to act like they proud of their people. All the rhetoric. I've been here for nearly 20 years in YouTube world. Nearly 20 years. Okay, whatever. You know what? I'm done. Okay, Solo Beats, have a nice day. Seriously, I can't. And I don't want to do, I don't want to delete people. I don't like doing that, but I'm sorry because I'm going to leave it alone. But if I see some more, no, we're not a lineage. And if I see some more of that, because I'm tired of it, I'm at a point, 0 tolerance for the BS. I think I'm being lenient because I feel I've seen this name before, Solo Beats, but probably it was from like a manosphere circle or something. Y'all probably right. But yeah, okay. So getting back to, let me not pay attention to the chat for a minute. I don't mean no harm, but I'm getting distracted.
To anybody that felt offended by me referring to FBA.
If I'm mad, excuse me, I'm gonna respond to the chat again. If I am mad, trust me, I'm justified. But y'all ain't mad. Y'all ain't mad. Mad, maybe as in, off. But y'all, this fake outrage with y'all. If there's an outrage in me, trust me, it is very justified. Because I'm tired of this fake shit. But y'all, it's selective. It's fake. All right. It's fake.
Reason.
A few moments later.
To anybody that felt offended by me referring to FBA as a KKK, to anybody that I've offended, I didn't mean to offend you. I'm completely ignorant when it comes to this movement. I just know how I felt when I was attacked, when my family was attacked, and I decided to just, here we go. I want the people that y'all listen to, if they are true educators in this FBA lineage, I want to talk to them.
So y'all know what we have to talk about, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. So she's making sure to say lineage. So what happened, Tasha K? Who came at you? Or was this, or were you playing along all along, from the jump, like they're trying to teach us all a lesson? Who came at you? Or is it just about you just trying to protect? I'm going to tell you, I believe that she said what the hell she really felt. But she got off code because I do believe that Tasha K, that's just my opinion, I believe she another one of these puppies up there. Because I remember that time when she was, okay, this was definitely questionable too. I remember she was interviewing people. What had happened? What had happened? I forgot. But she was demanding that people, you got to show your face if they come up on her panel, right? It was something that was really controversial that had happened. Was it about the Just Pearly? It was something. It was something that, yeah. But then when it was just, what's that, Jessica X-Files, as I call it? Jessica X-File, the British accent. And yeah. From the UK, but she knows so much about black. And that's the thing, too. Some of these same guys, they want to talk about tethers. But here they is, they were following and giving their money to this person, biracial person of the UK, got a whole non-black parent from the UK, but she's an authority on black American women. You can't make this up, y'all. Just like some of these very same guys. When you had that Ethiopian woman years ago, whatever, talking about us black American women. They was co-signing, high-fiving. You got to. Yeah, but I remember when it was Jessica K. Okay, everybody else, she was demanding that they show themselves. But Jessica K, she did not. So that told me that some of these people, maybe, I know that one Mike TV guy, he's questionable too, but maybe it is. I know there was some people when he was exposing that, what's that woman? Melanie or something. She also would make these videos very critical of women, more specifically black women, and she was also like kind of co-signing, and they all were O'Shea, they all were co-signing just pearly things. Okay, they all was putting her on this pedestal. Now she talking about black fatigue. She's making songs about black fatigue, and doing her best to try to distance herself from black men now. But yeah, I remember with Tasha K when she was, but she did not demand that Jessica K show herself. Like she knew the deal with Jessica. So who is it? Because some people think that she was that Melanie woman or whatever her name was, using some sort of voice changer or something. I don't know. If I wanted to, I could find out. But I don't know. You got a lot of these plants. Definitely agents, bots, paid subs. They straight up they took over YouTube world for real. And they gotten rid of people like me, but I'm still here. But don't be surprised if I come back. Yeah, y'all, I got another stuff. I'm used to it though. I'm used to this though. So see, somebody like me, what I got to lose? Everybody know my life inside out. What I got to lose? I'm a person lost my sister, brother, mama. But I have fear of the Most High Yahuwah first and foremost. But anyways, and that's why, and they know when there are people like me who ain't afraid like that. Of course, I'm gonna be wise. But see, this is the thing. This ain't about y'all's lives being threatened. It's just, is money your priority? That audience, I understand you got to make a living, you got to survive. But see, that's what's really sad. That's really sad when you don't have that faith. Then the Most High will take care of you, and you're dependent. But it's going to be taken. It's going to be taken. See, I could respect her defending your husband. No, they trying to insult your husband. Yes, this is part of the FBA agenda. Insulting, and I will prove what I'm talking about, since they claim it's just about a lineage. Okay, and even with what she said on the KKK, is it that far-fetched? Come to find out, I didn't realize. Okay, y'all say that was she saying all that far-fetched? When you consider, I didn't know that I actually did address the whole thing with Yvette Carnell and John Tanton years earlier. I mean, not years earlier, but about a year ago. And then that's around the same time that General Tito guy decided, and I found out about it on the anniversary of my mom's, that he made this video. And he would do videos if people paid him to come at certain people. And he came at me. It wasn't so much what he said about me. People didn't been up in here trying to talk about me. But, I had to find this out on the day that my mama passed. And I was sick, so I didn't, but they had told me in Discord that he was calling my mother a whore and all this stuff, and just terrible stuff. Yeah, and see, but when he came at Sister Deborah, that's when his channel got moved. Yeah, see, because I definitely believe that she is a sister, a virtuous woman representing the Most High, and that's when his channel got removed. You hear me? Came at the wrong one. Not to say that I am not to be protected. I'm just saying. But it's around that time, January 2025. I didn't realize I had already talked on this. I guess I got it on private. I put it on private. Who is John Tanton? #ADOS FBO. I didn't know I had already talked about this early last year. And as shared at this site that I'm showing you, IBW21.org, And I also shared you what Tariq Kweli had stressed on Good Morning with Good Morning America. AUS leaders have a history of working with right-wing media news. Now, this is just what the article says. Like Newsmax and the fake progressive organization Progressives for Immigration Reform that is supported by white supremacist John Tanton. Okay. It says ADOS leaders, and so okay, let's keep it real. We've also shown receipts where Tariq Nasheed he was in approval initially of Yvette Carnell and the ADOS movement. At least they can admit that they're a movement. And you're a doggone liar if you say that, if you don't believe that FBA was not to some degree influenced by the ADOS, what Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks had going. At least they can admit that this is a movement. Even if I don't say, oh, you're about to do what you got to do, bro. With the wiki page. Yeah, I was surprised to see that. That was actually, yeah, I believe that's very recent. But it says here, I'm trying to read it. Let me see. Because even I covered this in 2020, this site might be no longer, or this article may be no longer. It says ADOS leaders want to split Black representation on the 2020 census and make ADOS its own category. Each would. Okay, wait. First of all, what was this video? What was that I did? Hold on. It was called, I didn't even know I talked about this. Who is John Tent? But y'all know the sister's brain. I really don't even remember that I had initially talked about this. Or more specifically, John Tanton. Who is John Tanton? / Okay, I did this January 2025. I must have put it on private like right away. Or, I don't know. I said, is it a coincidence that so many quote unquote Black voices in social media have become more quote unquote right wing leaning and outspoken against immigration? Okay. Oh, he said, oh, TKC, thanks for the help, but I'm I'm ignorant to a degree, smart on certain things and very ignorant on others. You would think all these years I've been in here and making videos and everything. AUS leaders have a history of working with white wing media. Okay, let me read what it says here, because I probably wouldn't be able to find this article. Let me see. AUS leaders have a history of working with right wing media like Newsmax and the fake progressive organization Progressives for Immigration Reform that is supported by white supremacist John Tanton. See, no, it's not saying that Black people are of the KK, but could there be, puppets for white supremacists? We remember how Tommy used to proudly say that, right? Tommy Sotomayor used to proudly say that he was funded by, he literally said it. I got the video clip. But, oh yeah, was it Tariq Nasheed? Wasn't he the one claiming that Black women would prevent slave revolts by running to the KKK? And I remember it was my brother New Possibilities who debunked them on that. Like, where are the receipts that there were Black women running to the KKK, preventing slave revolts? Where is the proof of this, the evidence of this? Where's the evidence of this? But this is some of the stuff that he used to, and that's the thing. I believe Tariq knows his audience. And they'll believe that. Okay. But we do know, even nobody's saying that Black Americans are equivalent to the KKK, but we do know that there are people who are, just like you got this Officer Tatum. Like, my husband was trying to get me to hear, so I was like, I do not want to hear this. Where he was talking some ish. What was he saying? Officer Tatum. Oh, he was trying to justify whites with the Tulsa. I'm like, I had to tell my husband, I can't listen to this. My husband is trying to play it for him. I can't listen to this. I cannot. I refuse to listen to the rest of this. And you think that this is what this guy really, but y'all really believe this is what this Officer Tatum truly believes? No, and I'm not saying to make excuses for grown men, but these are people who are obviously being paid or blackmailed or whatever the hell, or both. These are mouthpieces. They're not really saying what they believe, what they truly believe, or even want to say. They just don't give a damn. You know, as long as they're getting paid or what they believe is protected and promoted. Okay, it says that once again, ADOS leaders have a history of working with right-wing media like Newsmax and the fake progressive organization Progressives for Immigration Reform that is supported by white supremacist John Tanton. Now, this is what the article is saying, okay? ADOS leaders want to split Black representation on the 2020 census and make ADOS its own category, which would negatively impact the representation of Black communities, potentially decreasing access to funding and other resources available to Black communities overall. Because you got to understand, and if they try to make some separate, let's say, I don't think they're trying to take, well, I can't say with ADOS, but with FBA, no, they're not. This is some online ish just to influence your mind and for propaganda purposes. Still dangerous. But let's say if what ADOS, if you know, in trying to make this, if let's say if they are trying to, you know, yeah, that would lessen the population, and saying that, and let's say like trying to make us total separate racial category, like let's say all the census, which I don't think is going to happen, but you know, to lessen the population, which would mean less. Yeah, y'all get it, right? But anyways, 3, it says ADOS founders claim to be outspoken advocates for cash payout reparations, but refuse to support the HR 40 Commission to Study and Develop Reparation Proposals for African Americans Act, a bill sponsored by Representative Sheila Jackson Lee. ADOS leadership initially supported the bill, but is now pushing. This is what this article stated. Now, when I read this, it was in January 2025. I can't say exactly when this article was posted, but yeah, but at this time when I was reading this, it says ADOS founders claim, okay, that they're saying that ADOS leadership initially supported the bill, but is now pushing for the bill to include their newly presented moniker ADOS instead of African American. This is a frivolous excuse to move the goalposts and center the reparations movement on the ADOS leadership instead of the communities they claim to represent. 4 ADOS leaders have proposed policy that would require Black Americans to provide slavery documentation before having access to affirmative action and reparations. See, all this may actually be to counter reparations. Y'all don't understand. Even because you got some people even trying to claim we were already here, there were no slave ships. Next thing they'll be claiming that our ancestors, most of our ancestors were not enslaved. We were freemen. Y'all don't see what's going on. So you can't tell me, with all that's being pointed out, you cannot tell me either I'd have to believe that you're a plant agent, or you just cloud chasing what's trendy and what you feel is going to get you more views and cloud the money, or what you think. Even in what you gonna really get from YouTube though? Now I'm not dropping the link. I don't mean no harm, but I'm not familiar with you. I used to be, real open to that. No offense though. I'm just not familiar with you. But yeah, let me see. Did I already talk? Did I talk about John Tanton? Yeah, but apparently, but you know me, my live streams are so long. Who is John Tanton? Once again, So is it that far-fetched what Tasha is implying when we're talking about, okay, because understand, she wasn't talking about Black American people. She's talking about this movement, this agenda. And Tariq Nasheed has contradicted himself. Haven Bullets, he just, hold on, I'm gonna have to find that. Where he showed, where he played Tariq Nasheed saying this is a movement. And it is not a coinky dink that he comes up with this hashtag after the whole ADOS and after giving props to Yvette Carnell and the whole ADOS movement. So don't tell me that this isn't. And supposedly with ADOS, the primary goal was to write the check or reparations, right? That's also what Tariq Nasheed. That was the talking point. That was his focal talking point initially, right? Then he shifted from that to focusing on the no good Democrats. And then he shifted from that to just let's talk about the tethers all day and the Democrats. And again, I'm not with any political affiliation. I no longer even vote. But, I've explained why. You don't have to agree with me. That's understandable. But it's also more spiritual. Okay, now he has listed the SPL with y'all know what the SPL SPLC Center.org. He has listed. Okay, let me share this. John Tanton was the racist architect of the modern. This is what it says at the SPLCenter.org site. John Tanton was the racist architect of the modern anti-immigrant movement. He created a network of organizations, the Federation for American Immigration Reform, FAIR, the Center for Immigration Studies, CIS, and Numbers USA, that profoundly shaped the immigration debate in the U.S. A retired Michigan ophthalmologist, Tanton had white nationalist beliefs and wrote that to maintain American culture, a European American majority is required. In his own words, I've come to the point of view that for European American society and culture to persist requires a European American majority, and a clear one at that. Okay, and that's the letter to the late December 10th, 1993, letter to the late Garrett Hardin, a controversial ecology professor. I have no doubt that individual minority persons can assimilate to the culture necessary to run an advanced society, but if through massive migration, the culture of the homeland is transplanted from Latin America to California, then my guess is we will see the same degree of success with governmental and social institutions that we have seen in Latin America. That was January 26, 1996, letter to Roy Beck, executive director of Numbers USA. Okay, but yeah. There have been people. I know that I read something on him being connected to eugenicist ideas. Yeah. So why is that far-fetched? So let's say you cannot tell me that FBA, the hashtag, the agenda, the movement, you cannot tell me that it was not inspired by, just as you are not going to tell me that Tariq is not the one who concocted this whole thing. You cannot tell me he's not the leader. Y'all know if Tariq Nasheed did not exist, you would not be referring to yourself as FBA. Let's keep it real. And I know that I'm right because everything he says, y'all repeat. If he says it's not a movement, y'all repeat. If he says musty tether, y'all repeat. If he say plebiscite babble, y'all repeat. Y'all are parrots. Everything he says, y'all repeat. If he talks about people's hairlines, y'all repeat. Your thumbnails look just like his thumbnails. Everything he's talking about, y'all talking about. So don't tell me he is not your leader. He is your daddy. Daddy, take responsibility for your children. See, that the reason he wants to say I'm not a leader because when it all fits the fan, he don't want to be responsible. You understand? And it also makes it easier for him to move on to the next, whatever he's going to be next. Because he was about Melanoid Nation, which didn't just include the United States just a minute ago. Before that, what Mac lesson? What's going to be next? What is the next? What's the next way? Went from dividing black men and black women, having black men and black men see black women in a certain light. So that wasn't enough. What's next? I would be very upset. Somebody who I've been listening to and I take on the talking points and I'm defending and I'm coming in chat rooms and then they're like trying to make it like trying to in a. And then let's see, looking at the channel. Looking at the channels. Okay, since y'all claim, look at all this. Look at all this. Y'all gonna fake outrage. The lineage. All this fake outrage. And I can't say I clicked into these videos. Maybe they, but from what I'm seeing here, now isn't this one of those channels that also address, okay, I haven't seen this. I'm not familiar with this channel, but it does seem like they're very supportive of Black Americans, right? But let me see if there are videos. Haitians, Caribbeans, okay. Where's the talk about, if y'all are about just making this differentiation or just all that delineation is drawing the line, making a clarification like, okay, this is us and this is them. It's not necessarily about a versus us versus them, but just basically delineation. And you don't even have to be talking about us. You can be talking about two separate groups, two demographics or whatever that you don't even belong to. But it's just about making a clarification. Okay, like this is the difference between this and that. It doesn't mean that you're divesting or that you're, it doesn't mean that you're putting on one. Like, for instance, like anthropologically speaking, me and let's say a person, from Khoisan, we would be in the United States categorized as Black. Or anthropologically speaking, me and somebody from, let me see. Let's say the Mercy, let's say Lupita Nyong'o. We would be put in the category, anthropologically speaking, Black, and in some cases, even Negroid. But even though Lupita is more so considered Nilotic. However, I could easily make a differentiation. Okay, the difference is, she was born. I could differentiate by where we were born. I could differentiate by what haplogroups. She may still be part of the L haplogroup as I would more likely am. I could differentiate, like when I let you guys know that there are people who are Hamitic. Not all African people are Hamitic. Some are also Shemitic. Okay, like those of us. That's all the delineation is. And I've done that. I've talked about that. Like, especially when they talk about us being sold into slavery by supposedly our own people. That's when I do feel it's necessary to, make a delineation. That's not necessarily how things happen. They knew exactly, you know what I'm saying? And just to say African people, no, there are many, many tribes and people in Africa, Like when I had responded also, when there was this, to the whole controversy with the Woman King. That's when I felt I had to make I had to, let's say, make a delineation, if you will. However, what they are doing, this is not just, okay, this is the difference between, and this is the thing, if they were so proud of FBA, why are you guys not talking about, you just lost, like I said, you just lost the dude, Chicago, Earl Johnson products, like Afro shit. Wait, let me not say Afro shit. Can't say Afro. I mean, man, you just lost Hal Williams, 227. Brother just passed. Why ain't y'all talking about, actually he was the cop, Sanford and Son. Y'all ain't talking, y'all don't give two squats. Okay, why ain't y'all talking about, y'all so big, you talking about Wyclef, you talking about Tethers, Why ain't y'all focusing on Black Americans? Just like when I was with the Golden Sphere, I'm like, y'all, Ronnie Spector just passed. Why ain't y'all want to talk about black, dark-skinned women and shit? Why ain't y'all talking about Ronnie Spector, who just passed? I was quicker to talk about Ronnie Spector than they were. And I'm not biracial. Why are they not focusing more so? Another African cosplay. And that's the thing, they're looking for this stuff. They seeking, they looking to see what Godfrey got to say against them. They look at Godfrey every podcast and see what he got to say. Ooh, I got something. He said that Denzel Washington hair looked funny. See, he talked about Black Americans. If y'all don't get the hell out of here. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. They'll talk. Okay. They're talking about Nolan Wells. Oh, wait. His mom is Filipino. I guess they'll have like a token video here and there, but I don't really see much promotion. Oh, is this another one that's also supporting Trump? Their indirect, slick way of supporting Trump? Okay. Oh, yeah. They said this Love Jones. Hey, Love Jones. She was a divester. No surprise. No surprise at all. But they got to have at least a token female, because people got to question. Wait a minute. Why is it all these men, they happen to be supporting Trump, and many of them were once on this manosphere? Oh, Shay. Oh my gosh. If y'all Shay Duke Jackson, this is the same guy that was clapping and applauding the death of Corinne Gaines. And they elicit, y'all, that's why I know. And it's embarrassing. It's really, I gotta speak out, say, these clowns do not, they don't represent me. I got to, some of y'all okay, because it's really, really, hold on. You tell this, oh goodness. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about right here. And I'm gonna highlight this before getting ready. You tell this, yeah, see, these are the bots that I'm talking about. Let me get this out of here. You are sounding very ignorant. I mean, for real. Ignorant. Not even ignorant. Ignorant. No. You're uneducated. These are people who learn from memes and shit. They learn Black history from TikTok shorts and shit. Hell no. Get this off my channel. Okay. Thank you for getting rid of that. No, he got to be gone. No. You're not coming up in here. No, I'm removing this person. I just had to highlight, because y'all, seriously, it's embarrassing. It is y'all are embarrassing. Nah. He is, you got O'Shea not even in the United States. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Like, he talking shit, co-signing stuff against Africans while he's in the. You got what's happened? What? It's the end of the world, y'all. It's the end of the world. It's the end of, y'all better get prepared, get your lives right with the Most High, but these people, they don't care. Just like with Soto Nation. Tommy Sotomayor made a little joke exposing where he's pretending to expose his penis to his daughter. They did not care. They didn't care. That's a cult for you. I want to believe that y'all are getting paid. Please tell me you're getting paid. Please tell me you're not this stupid. Please tell me that you're bots, you're paid subs. Please tell me you're not this ignorant. Then, oh my goodness. People think that what happened in Jonestown, like that could not happen to our people today. Please convince me that you get. Tell me, show me your check. Tell me you getting paid. Don't have me convinced that our people. I know better though, but like I said, the average Black person out here, and I'm in Chicago, honey. They don't know about this dumb shit. They wouldn't know. I can't imagine if I was to come up talking about some tethers. They wouldn't know what the hell I'm talking about. But they want you to think that, and through social media, and that's why I believe Fat Joe was in on this too. If he says FBA, if the director of Black Panther, say FBA, and it may be even the case with Tasha K. She might be in on this too. But hold on, let's play a little more, because this is very peculiar.
Offend you?
A few moments
She's apologizing now.
later.
To anybody that felt offended by me referring to FBA as a KKK, to anybody that I've offended,
She didn't say
I didn't mean to offend you. I'm completely ignorant when it comes to this movement. I just know how I felt when I was attacked, when my family was attacked, and I decided to just, here we go. I want the people that y'all listen to, if they are true educators in this FBA lineage.
Stop playing, Tasha K.
I want to talk to them.
So y'all know what we have to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. We have to talk about the Tasha K situation, ladies and gentlemen. We got to talk about the Tasha K situation. All right. Oh, for those who don't know, most of you should know by now because it's all over the internet. Oh, it's
on purpose. Nothing goes viral coincidentally.
Massively over the internet. It's everywhere. Oh, somebody said, what happened? Okay. Well, Tasha K was doing her broadcast. And for those who don't know, Tasha K is a gossip columnist, does a lot of gossip. That's her bag. She was infamously in a case with Cardi B. Cardi B sued her, and Cardi B actually won the case. So Tasha owes, how much does Tasha owe Cardi?
You know what I always figured with that? I kind of questioned, and I did a stream on this years ago, the whole thing. It kind of made me wonder, was that even real? Because she never seemed, Tasha K, in any way devastated. I mean, if you got to pay back somebody over $1 million, and maybe she making money like that, but in the defamation, even though it did seem like Cardi B's animosity against Tasha K was real, but it something just seemed fake about it. Because remember I said, could they have been using this? Could this have all been just scripted, like fake beef, to kind of teach us YouTube, to kind of scare us YouTubers into not talking about certain celebrities, or you know what I'm saying? Because you remember in YouTube for years, there was all this talk of certain celebrities and politics, and just famous figures, whether they're part of the Illuminati or whatever, and that like is a way to kind of get us all afraid or something. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I wouldn't doubt that. Wait, hold on. No, I don't like your username. Your username ain't. I don't like your username. Sorry, but it ain't gonna come up in here. If you're calling yourself, if you're making this, because first of all, my sister-in-law, I love her dearly, and we almost lost her. Her father's Jamaican. And in talking about that, mean you would also be talking about my brother's children. Because according to people like Tariq Nasheed, considering what he's going to try to point out here on what he want people to focus on about Tasha K and her background, if you have a grandparent even that is what he's, foreign, or what he considers non-FBA, even if you are a descendant of those who were enslaved in the Americas, you are tethered. So you're not going to come up in here with that, even with a username like that. But yeah, anyways.
Cardi B like 4 million or something like that, allegedly. How much does she owe Cardi B? She still owes Cardi B. And damn. Yeah.
Trust me, he is the type who would defend a Cardi B before a Tasha K, of course.
She's on the hot seat with that paper. But for some reason on her broadcast, I don't know how Foundational Black Americans came up, but yeah, she just kind of went in on the lineage.
No, she didn't. She went on you. You know that. She went in on you. She went in on the movement. And she gave specific names of those who are leading these movements. She didn't go in on the lineage, and you know this. And I noticed he addressed that, she said clearly. Can we hear it again? Well, no, I played it enough times. She didn't say Black Americans. She didn't even just said FBA. She said this whole FBA movement and the leaders, men she gave specific names. So that's a lie.
She just popped on there and just started going in on foundational Black American lineage. She started talking about.
No. Hold on. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. She didn't talk about Black American lineage, ancestry, none of that shit. No, she did not.
But here's what I would say about the FBA movement. It's no different than the KKK. Here's
the FBA movement.
In these movies, even Tariq Nasheed, I ain't got movement because I'm married to a booty scratcher. Which they're entitled to their opinion. That's fine. That's totally fine. But here's what I think about the FBA movement.
And I understand she's responding. What made her popped off to respond is people first, as it usually is, insulting her or her family or the man she married, the father of her children. So she is in her right to clap back. But she didn't even really clap back at the people who more directly insulted her. She clapped back, and she didn't clap back at a lineage. She clapped back at what she knows is an agenda, a movement, and the leaders of the agenda, the movement.
And any other movement that has to do with young Pharaoh.
See, she said, here's what I had to say about, did she say the lineage? She said, no, here's what I got to say about the movement.
Fine. But here's what I think about the FBA movement. And
the FBA movement.
Any other movement that has to do with young Pharaoh, Brother Polite, Dr. Umar Johnson.
She's being even more specific here.
All of these movements that y'all.
She said these guys and their particular movements. And she has a right to see, we can argue on and on, it's a lineage, it's a movement, No, she sees that as a movement. She's not responding. So thus, that is what she is responding to. And if you say, well, Tariq Nasheed is not the lead, then I guess whatever you claim, then that means she's definitely not responding. If you're, because that's why she's being specific and saying these guys. And if you don't follow Tariq Nasheed, then why would you even be offended? Because she's making it clear what she's talking about. If you're just saying, oh, I'm just FBA, because, okay, like for instance, of course, I agree that Black Lives Matter, but I'm not with the movement, especially when I consider who is behind the funding. I am not with the hashtag movement Black Lives Matter. Do I believe Black Lives Matter? Absolutely. And I do believe that there were some people who were sincere, who may have been sincere, like the guy that, in his car tragically. There may have been some people. However, the leading faces, like those women, who are very questionable, and George Soros, who has been putting the money, I am not with. If you understand what I'm saying. Which does not mean that I am for police brutality. No. But what became the movement, although I do believe that there were some people who were sincere. And why you here? Let me take care of that. Let the idiot take care of you. There you go. There you go. Get your ass the door then. Excuse me for cursing, y'all.
Look up to all of these men that has to do with young Pharaoh, Brother Polite, Dr. Umar Johnson, all of these movements that y'all.
Movements. And she was very specific.
Look up to.
Why is Tariq being deceptive? purposely being deceptive? That's a rhetorical question, by the way.
All these men, okay, that I guess guide you to help elevate your consciousness in these movies. Even Tariq Nasheed, ain't his wife like half white or something?
Notice Tariq ain't play that part.
Ain't Tariq Nasheed wife like half white?
And definitely, believed, and people have even shown some receipts to back up what they claim, that his wife, her father, not only is she got a whole non-black parent. This ain't even just like mixed down the line, admixture or whatever. Got a whole non-black parent. And then her dad is claimed, and Tariq has said things in suggesting this even, that her dad is Haitian, like perhaps even born in Haiti or of the West Indies.
But here's what I would say about the FBA movement. It's no different than the KKK.
She said, now, so you heard it. She said, the FBA movement, no different than the KKK. And the FBA movement, inspired by ADOS movement, which is clearly a movement. And if it is true, Yvette Carnell being connected, linked work people like John Tanton, who has been listed, at least by the SPL.org, center.org, as a white racist who they have said that he's been even like referred to, I read somewhere, as eugenicist or supporting of eugenicist ideology and theories. So that's not too far-fetched to believe. Especially when I'm seeing the rhetoric. Oh, and I just seen something recently. I nearly fell on my chair. Who is it? Was it Haven Bullets? That Tariq Nasheed is defending white Europeans over Africans, saying that white Europeans, they didn't flee. He's actually feeling the need to speak on behalf of white immigrants. Oh yeah, like Donald Trump's parents or grandparents who were directly from Germany. But anyways, but they didn't flee. Oh wait, I gotta play that. That is rich. But you heard it right there. She didn't talk about, now going back to a Tariq Nasheed. So you heard it right there. She didn't say that. She didn't talk about the lineage, ancestry, and black people, black Americans in general. Because then I'm supposed to be offended, right? But I'm not, because that ain't what I heard. And that ain't what Tariq Nasheed heard.
Popped on there and just started.
But that's what he wants the listeners to hear. And they will anyway, because, it's a code. And I don't even trust all these people commenting.
Just kind of went in on the lineage.
Oh, goodness. How deceptive. Went in on the lineage. So I guess she talked about Black American culture, Black American history. I didn't recall hearing that. I didn't recall her going in on the lineage, the culture, the ancestry, the DNA. I don't recall hearing that. Black American families. Did y'all hear that? If y'all claiming it's about the lineage.
She just popped on there and just started going in on foundational Black American lineage. She started talking about FBA is the same thing as the Ku Klux Klan and the
No, she said your movement is.
KKK is, she said it's meant to divide and separate you and isolate you.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see any promotion from the FBA agenda. We can look at your channels. Let's look at the channels. We're going to do that again. I don't see really Black Americans being promoted. I don't think that is then you're not talking about the culture. If I go to your channel, are you talking about the culture, or are you talking about quote unquote Southerners? No, it's not about the culture. No, it's not. Only time you talk about what? When you talk about hip hop, he only talked about hip hop when it was convenient. They're still in our swag. That was just to get you riled up. There's no real talk about the culture. Only time the culture is being talked about is when you're trying to say I'm better than you. We eat this. We eat soul food. Y'all eat bushmeat. That's the only time you're talking about the culture. Y'all still in our swag. That ain't promoting the culture. Try again. If I go to your channel, are you talking to, let's see, FBA? Since you're so passionate, you're over here because of Tariq Nasheed. You're over here because of a hashtag. And again, you're another person, ain't been subscribed that long, Sage TV. So I would think that there would be some sort of media over here since you're called Sage TV. But no, you have nothing on your channel. Are you a paid sub? Are you getting paid? Are you a bot? Nothing on your channel, but you Sage TV. You've been here since December 2025. No content on your channel. Nothing, but you're passionate about this, right? Right.
And she said it encouraged people to look at other Black ethnic groups and hate them for no reason.
You said it. I thought you said the lineage isn't it now, but she wasn't talking about the lineage. She was talking about the agenda, the movement.
It encouraged people to look at other Black ethnic groups and hate.
She didn't say Black Americans or even foundational Black Americans. She didn't say that Black Americans encourage people to hate. That's not what she said. Because that's if she was talking about the lineage, she was talking about you and leaders like you and your agenda.
Hate them for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was like, what the hell?
Everybody. No, everybody that's part of this agenda up in here.
And there were people calling up, letting her know, hey, you know, that's FBA as a lineage. And she kept trying to frame.
If it's a lineage and you really respect that, why did you trademark it back when you coined it in 2019? Why is there, hold on, why did you put a trademark on it? If you, why would you, disrespect the lineage? And I don't want the deflections, oh, African American. No, but we're talking about you right now because she specifically named you. So that's the thing. If it's not, then why y'all up in here getting offended? Y'all really should be, then you should be, if you're so proud of, and you like that term foundational Black American, then you should be making videos totally denouncing Tariq Nasheed instead of trying to deter me from even mentioning him. You should be just like I come up in here saying that these people do not represent me. The ones claiming that they represent light-skinned females. You see, I'm quick to say, no, you don't speak for me. That's what y'all supposed to be doing. Since you don't come up in here stressing to me that Tariq's not your leader. You supposed to be doing that on your own. You supposed to be making that clear. No, because deep down, this is your indirect way of defending Tariq Nasheed and this rhetoric. You are with the agenda. Just admit it. You want to hear him keep talking shit about other people. I want to believe, though, where's the outrage? Up, deflection, deflection, deflection. Deflection, deflection, deflection. Where's the outrage when we talk? Well, it's funny. When it was years ago, and there was an Ethiopian woman talking stuff on Black American women, and people like sisters like myself corrected her on that. Where were you? I think I expressed my outrage, if you will, then when it was a woman up in here years ago talking about Black American women. You must be new to my channel, dear. No, but I have been speaking for you for years. I've been more likely to defend you, Black men and Black women, years up in here. You are brand new, dear. Just say that you want to keep hearing people, you want to just hear that you just want to keep hearing people getting roasted. You're not talking about Black American history. You're not talking about, so stop with the fake outrage. Stop with the fake outrage. Because some of the very same people, you weren't saying shit. You had the Jessica X in the UK. Where were you guys years ago? Oh no, not even that many long ago. You just had what's the name, promoting Latina chicks in another country. But now all of a sudden you Captain America and you're so offended. Some of you very people were talking about Black America. You were talking about your own. If you want to talk about, guess what? You're talking about me being where was these people were shitting on us? Hold on, Tariq Nasheed was shitting on us. I actually heard more against Black Americans from him than any so-called tether. That's the truth. How many videos Tariq Nasheed calling and talking about, and he even made comparisons, comparing Black Americans to other people. He has done this before. And calling Black American men and women. Whether he's calling the sisters bed wenches or calling brothers dusty. That's the Tariq, he was before even Cynthia G was up in here referring to brothers as dusty. He was calling them dusty. So get the hell out of here with that. Get the hell out of here with that. Next, try again. I've been up in here too long. You had O'Shea Jackson applauding the race soldiers who took out Corinne Gaines, Black American sister. I believe she was what, Detroit? Who is y'all? Get off my channel. What are you talking about? Who is y'all? Fool, I'm from Chicago. I'm from the Shop. What are you talking about? My family from the South. Who are you? Who is y'all? See, now you look stupid. What are you talking about? You talking about y'all been shitting on us for generations? Get the hell out of here. Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
FBA as an organization, that's a con game, and I'll get on that later.
It's a con game. Says the says K Flex. Says Cosmo Flex.
That's a con game. I'll get on that later. Let me play some of the audio of what she was saying. I'll play a little audio of it. Hold on.
He's gonna play what he wants you to hear. Totally left out, what he said on his wife.
Just to give you some more context, I'll play the audio. Hold on.
They called my husband an African booty scratcher. Right. They said that I cannot speak on the foundational Black American movement because I'm married to a booty scratcher.
Now, her husband is African. Isn't he like from Mali or something like that? But her husband is African.
Yeah, Black man.
Here's what I think about the FBA movement and any other movement that has to do with
Black man with, I'm assuming, 2 Black parents.
Young Pharaoh, Brother Polite, Dr. Umar Johnson, all of these movements that y'all look up to, all these men, okay, that I guess guide you to help elevate your consciousness. Here's what I would say about the FBA movement. It's no different than the KKK.
The FBA movement, it's no different than she said the FBA movement. She didn't say Black Americans. She didn't talk about lineage, ancestry. She didn't talk about our culture and all this.
Meant to divide.
Okay, so I'm just giving you an understanding of.
He knew when to cut it off. He knew when to cut off. Warriors are the best. You got the same, pretty much the same background as me. They are born in Chicago. Well, my parents actually were born in the South. My mama, Mississippi. My daddy, Alabama. That's what most Chicagoans, our roots are, especially if you were born on the South side or West side. And in the 70s, as I was, your parent, most of us, our parents, grandparents were part of the Great Migration. Mine more so after World War II. Yeah, usually our roots are going to be Mississippi or Alabama. Like with those in New York, those whose, parents are part of the migration from the South, it's going to be the Carolinas, more so North Carolina, I believe, with New York. A lot of people, Louisiana, went to California. But anyways, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that just really rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, as it should. as it should, as it should. Now, her husband, African, and she went on to mention that her children are African too. She has children by this gentleman, from what I.
You see it, he's really going there. Wow. So, but see, it wouldn't be cool with his children, though. That wouldn't be cool.
Understand.
So he wants you to see her children in a certain manner. He wants you to see her children as tethers. Her husband is just nothing more than a tether, not a black man, but a tether, and her children is tethers.
Also, did y'all know? Let me play this clip of her. Did y'all know this about her? Hold on one second. Let me play.
See now, what is him even? See, you know what she's doing.
Play this. Hold on. Listen to this.
What do you think about the FBA movement? My kids are African. My grandfather is Bahamian. No, I got we're Hebrew.
Okay, so he wants you to know that. Wait, who was it? She said a grandparent. He wants y'all to know, so he wants y'all to now be referring to her as a tether.
Hold on one second. Let me play this. Hold on. Listen to this.
What do you think about the FBA movement? My kids are African. My grandfather is Bahamian. No, I got we're Hebrew.
Okay.
That felt offended by me referring to the FBA movement. My kids are African. My grandfather is Bahamian. No, I got.
Okay, so she has a grandfather from one of her grandparents, at least, is from the Bahamas or Bahamian descent, West Indies, Caribbean. Did you know, though, Tariq Nasheed, but since you say that, did you know that the first settler, non-native, said to be non-native, settler in Chicago was a brother, whether he was black or biracial, but he was of Haitian descent? Did you know that? Since you want to talk about the founders of the United States, and even at his FBA, you know that this is his site. The official, he put this site together, official FBA.com, because it's also promoting his merchandise. As he says here, see, he wants us to see ourselves as fully assimilated. The ethnogenesis, right? Where he limits our history to post-slavery or slavery and, or basically Caucasian. He's totally okay with solely speaking the English language. That's the ethnogenesis he is very proud of. No different than, like the Latino who embraces, their European language and no different. That's, those who, let's say, have no real connection even to their indigenous native culture and language. Totally cool with being Catholic. But anyways, that's the ethnogenesis he wants us to embrace. Yeah, but and he limits the history, even though he didn't limit. It was convenient to expand our contributions when he was doing the Hidden Color series, because then he was talking about the Moors of Iberia and North Africa, and yeah, that was different when he wanted to claim, just like with the 1804 with the Haitians. Then it was about Melanoid Nation. Now he wants to, everything that we contributed to society, it was basically under white oppression. It's almost like giving white oppressors, and I think it's great that we acknowledge how we are able to survive and our resilience and our strength and our ability to make something out of, just like when you consider soul food, the scraps that we're, you know what I'm saying, and with our own. I think that's, that shows our instinct, but everything about us is not just survival and struggle under white oppression. That's kind of, that takes, to me, that limits our contribution. But yeah, but even at this site here, he said that defining, he's saying that, however, the rich history of FBA did not begin. So this is what our history goes back, according to him, the 15th to the 16th century, which is very limited. Okay. In 1526, Spanish colonizer Lucas Vasquez de Ayllon brought the first documented enslaved black people to the shores of what is now the South Carolina and Georgia coastline. Okay, Notice he said brought the first enslaved black people. This is what he claimed. Brought the first enslaved black people to the shores of what is now the South Carolina and Georgia coastline. Brought. So where did he bring them from? Did he bring them from a Latin American country? Did he bring them from some tether nation, like the Bahamas or somewhere like or from South America, like from Brazil? Did he bring them from Africa? Where did this Spanish colonizer, where did he bring these? I thought we were already here, though. I thought we were already here, right? Do y'all see the contradictions here? I thought we was already here. He claims that there's proof that there were, thousands of years ago through the Lucia woman, and when the Lucia woman's remains that was found. But wait a minute, that was in Brazil. Those remains were found in Brazil. We're not supposed to consider Brazil, right? If you're not going to consider the Bahamas, then why are we considering the Brazil? Why are we giving Brazil consideration if we can't consider the Bahamas? And the Aztec head, the Olmec heads, rather, was found in Mexico. We're not supposed to be giving Mexico. You're supposed to be strictly about what is now the United States, right? And I guess that includes Alaska and Hawaii. You're supposed to be strictly about the United States. What is now the United States? The Americas don't count, right? But it says here, this is from, he put together this site, official FBA.com. In 1526, Spanish colonizer Lucas Vasquez de Ayllón brought the first documented enslaved people to the shores of what is now the South Carolina and Georgia coastline. This is he's saying the beginning of FBA history. Yeah, he says, but the thing is, what's your proof? Like he's saying that we can't prove nothing with our African connection, or supposedly, even though, and you notice he avoids DNA like the plague. That I guess that don't matter. And it doesn't matter that those who were enslaved, I guess they're so different because their slave masters spoke French or another form of English or Spanish or Portuguese. That they're so different. They're not like us, even though they descended from those who were also enslaved in the Americas. That's what's tripped out. Like he was so ridiculous. He was talking about he's not going to watch this reboot of A Different World. Now, only thing I worry about, because I loved A Different World. It came out when I was a teenager, this show, and I used to love A Different World. Only thing that, is it back already? Only thing I'm worried about is like they may have like an LGBTQ character. That's the only thing I might be worried. I don't want to use terms white folks, like woke or whatever, because we should be woke, okay, and stay woke. But yeah, this is what's interesting. I remember he was talking about A Different World and talking about he's not going to be watching, and got people in his comment section. It's going to be a tether, because he saw one person's name of this new cast, this reboot, even though it's the same people pretty much behind it, like Debbie Allen, I believe some of the same writers and stuff. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. But he's trying to deter, he's trying to mess things up for these young actors. And Debbie Allen, Black American legend, he's trying to mess things up for her, trying to get his audience to not watch the show. He saw one person's name that looked foreign to him. He saw one person's name that looked foreign. So they're all posting, it's a tether world. It's a tether world. Well, first of all, did y'all know, and I talked about this before, Cree Summer, who was on the original A Different World, who played Freddie. I like her a lot. I definitely liked her character on the show. But you do know that Cree Summer from the original cast, you do know that her parents, not only is she, biracial, the whole, her father is white, but also her parents were Canadian. Oh, and here's another one. Yeah. You see. Yeah, her parents were Canadian. On another, and this is just what we know. This is just what we know. Oh, and also, and both of these persons were from the show from the very beginning. Dawn Lewis, you know, who played Julissa on A Different World. I believe her parents or grandparents, they're from Guyana. She also does the voice on Futurama of the Jamaican La Barbara. She also does the voice of Hermes, Jamaican, the Jamaican character. She does it very well. Futurama. I'm a fan of cartoons, so y'all know. Oh yeah, and then he went into talking in that very same live stream. He went into talking about Good Times, and he was giving his credit to the black man, talking about John Amos when it would not even be John Amos wouldn't have even been on that show if it had not been for Esther Rolle speaking up. If it had not been from this sister right here, this sister who I believe is also, her parents was from the Bahamas. If it wasn't for this sister speaking up, now he was on the show Maude with her, but they just, yes, because Good Times was a spinoff of Maude. And this woman here, whose parents were from the Bahamas, she was like, they wanted to give her her own show, but they wanted her to be a single mama. But she demanded that she have a father on the show. Now, he was with her, John Amos, on Maude. But when they wanted to give her the spinoff, the idea, they wanted her to be a single mom, whether or widow or divorced, whatever the case. And she demanded, no. The Florida Evans he always making fun of. That's how John Amos, and then we ended up getting the first show where you had a black mama, black father, and black children. Because before that, you didn't have a show. You had shows whether it was just a single black mom, whether she was divorced, or like in the case of Julia Beulah, or it was like a widowed dad, like in the case of Sanford and Son, or or it was a couple, but no kids. But now we got kids, mom and dad. Yeah, they was in the hood, but they still had morals. That's why I love Florida Evans' character, because they avoided the temptations of gambling, but because Tariq respect the hustle, so he can't appreciate a wife like Florida Evans who's trying to keep up. See, I'm from the projects. I'm from Cabrini Green. In fact, the show, when I was a baby, even though of course they didn't film it there, my mom, I remember them talking about that person that was in Cooley High that got killed, the light-skinned dude, because that's where my father's family was. That's where I was born. Well, I was born in Cook County Hospital, but first, taken. I remember when the show was still airing Good Times. I remember when it ended. So I have a connection with this show. I ain't like him talking about Florida Evans. Yeah, I laughed and stuff, but I appreciate her character. Got love for this sister. Oh, and did you also know Bernadette Stannis? Thelma. Did you also know this sister right here from New York? Hold on. I might be spelling her name wrong, but her paternal, you see, her granddad, her grandparents on her daddy's side was from Cariaco, from Grenada. Okay. See, there's a lot of people, these actors, y'all assuming, just like I had to debunk Denmark VC, I had to point when he was claiming that Denmark VC, revolutionary Denmark VC, let me see if I still got, so I know I had bookmarked. Denmark VC saying free black man community leader, Charleston, South Carolina, who's the revolutionary Denmark VC. But I had showed it in a publication, but that was a minute ago. There's quite a few people that y'all believe automatically, just like y'all did recently, making a fool of yourself. What was this that happened recently? And what was it? Was it Argentina? And they just, see, this is an FBA, man. Just, see, I'm just tired of this stupidity. Oh my gosh, and this misinformation and this total stupidity. Do you understand? The first settler, said to be non-native settler, was a brother from Haitian descent in Chicago before any quote-unquote white man. Now, he may have been biracial. Some older publications say, now that I'm not going to really debate on. But yeah, the said to be founder of Chicago, was of Haitian descent, my city. My city was said to have been, the founder was said to, would be, I guess, a tether. So what are you talking about? It's an interesting sketch now. Yeah. Is regarded as the first permanent settler of what would become Chicago, Illinois. And this is a very black city, indeed. And is recognized as the city's founder. He said it was of black ancestry and possibly European descent. But little else is known. Yeah, he was a merchant. He was, understand he married a Potawatomi woman, though. But yeah, our city, Chicago. Yeah, I just learned that Leah have a Jamaican ancestry. Let's not go to, let's not even go with hip hop. Come on now. Pepper from Salt and Pepper, Jamaica, Heavy D, of course, Special Ed. Oh, so many, as we know. So many pioneers, founders. Yeah, we all agree the base is New York. But why is the base New York? And of course, there's influence of the South, but we cannot overlook the Caribbean contribution. And the Caribbean have direct influence, African influence, whether we're talking the Latino, that they have direct African influence in their music. We can't deny that. Oh yeah. I knew Nia Long had. I knew that with Nia Long. He might have been inspired by Dr. Claude Anderson, but the thing is, he did with the whole FBA hashtag, the foundational Black American. Nobody's saying that we weren't foundational or weren't founders. Nobody's saying that. But we need to, just like I know that, like I said, I talked about why it is that I would not want, I would be careful not to refer to myself as a Black Hebrew Israelite. I talked about that. Yes, we know that the Israelites, or the descendants of Yasharel, we know that they were Hebrew, okay? And anthropologically speaking, they would be categorized as Black. But these are things I knew back in the 80s. I learned, but the people I learned it from, they weren't referring to themselves as Hebrew Israelite, which was kind of redundant. That was a term more so popularized, even more so by these some of these camp. I went into detail. Well, we need to be careful. Just like with it, yeah. And many of them follow that 12 tribes chart. You got to also look at what it is that they're teaching. Like, yeah, I know that Black Lives Matter, and I support those who are sincere, but I would not support the movement, the agenda, even the hashtag, because of those who have been funding, Now, exactly how it started with Black Lives Matter, because sometimes there are things that where you did have sincere people behind it, and just got hijacked. Whether it is by that could be the case in the case of, but FBA from the very jump, that's Tariq Nasheed there. You ain't got to, even if he was influenced by so and so, that's Tariq Nasheed. And yes, he was influenced by definitely by Yvette Carnell. Hold on. Do we got to find the receipts? You can't tell me. It's no coincidence. What are you talking about? You see, you're deflecting. First of all, you know doggone well that she did not say anything about Black American people, if that's what you're meaning by FBA. She did not say anything about Black American people. She said the movement. How many times do I got to play that? Stop acting like y'all didn't hear. She said the movement. She said, what I have to say about this FBA movement. Yes, movement. And then she got even more specific in giving names of people, certain leaders that she don't trust. She didn't go into talking about the culture, Black American culture, or Black Americans in general. She talked about specific people and their agenda. And you are a part of this agenda because, for one, you would not be calling yourself FBA if it had not been you were Tariq Nasheed. This is very recent. It's not like, okay, this is something that's been on the census or that we've been referring to ourselves as years, and then Tariq Nasheed just happened to jump on it and put a trademark on it and all of that. No, this is very recent that you all have been. I've been in YouTube nearly 20 years now. I've been in social media since 2001. She didn't talk about, so cut the shit, cut the bullshit. I played it a million times. So cut the bullshit. Stop with the fake outrage. She didn't talk about Black Americans. She didn't even say just FBA. She said, what I think about this FBA movement and leaders like Tariq Nasheed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She didn't go into talking about your culture, but guess who did? At least in this video. And I don't even like Tasha K. I'm keeping it real. And you see, he's very general in talking about this. Wave of dust. What, going over American cities? Is this wave of dust? 6 years ago, wave of dust. This looks like a Black American neighborhood, doesn't it? See, but back then he couldn't make the AI images, so he just took dusty niggas. Who he talking about? I don't think that's a street. That looked like a Black American street, doesn't it? I'm looking at the signs. Dusty niggas. Tariq Nasheed. Dusty and dangerous. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong to pointing out bad behavior, amongst our people. I'm not saying that's necessarily wrong, but, he had quite a bit of this. Let's not even go into how he talked about Black women, and more specifically, Black American women, as I have shown y'all, and also so cut the shit. So then when we point this out, well, Tariq is not my leader, then what are you getting offended about? She talked about Tariq Nasheed and the FBA movement, not a lineage. She didn't talk about Black American culture and all that, and he pretty much generalized. Dusty, these are American. See, and he couldn't even he had to use AI and talking about everybody else. He got to use, but he was just taking pictures off the streets of America. He wanted you to see the worst of the worst. But I guess he gave us Hidden Colors. Oh wait, Hidden Colors. He was mostly talking about, I guess he was talking about tethers more so there though, right? With the Hidden Colors, right? See, he talking about he got to make AI images and talk. But when he was talking about Black Americans, he couldn't make it. He was using real images. Look, a wave of dust over these American cities here. I don't think that's Africa. This view here. Hold on, it marks World TV. Oh, wait, is it? Oh, wait. Is he streaming? Oh, no. How many times? Yeah, he recently. He covered this 2 months ago. Tariq Nasheed don't like you, FBAs, and never did. Yeah, let's not even go into all of these on Black American women, okay? And comparing to how friendly the women in Brazil are in comparison, and they're
dusty hoteppers. He never ever liked himself. And he don't like FBA today. He don't like FBA today. They are a check. That's it. They are a check.
Yeah, he even said things, making these comparisons. He would make these comparisons to,
Right here. Melanoid Nation family here in DC. These are red, black, and green ones that would follow him at that time as Pan-Africanists. I wonder what they're thinking today. Or they're just
this was just yesterday. I've been here for a minute, but to me, it's like just yesterday. Y'all, this was just like yesterday. I'm telling you, this is crazy. Just like with that Sperling guy. I'll say Sperling guys, The one that was with Kevin Samuels. He was like just him and King Supreme, aka Red Supreme. They was promoting Latino women and telling you to go to another. O'Shea right now sitting. When was the last time he was even living in America? He went from Europe, from Poland to. What's up with that? It's obvious. And he was just talking. He had no regrets for years. That wasn't that long ago. He had no regrets going to relocate to Africa. Now all of a sudden, you know what? There are scammers here. I want to talk. Oh my gosh.
goofy as these other ones that was calling themselves Pan-Africanists, and now they're talking to FBA goofiness now. They just go from one thing to another,
Yep, that's why I'm not the leader, so I can't be responsible. No.
One thing to another. I mean, like George, what's that? George Macon, he come from Pan-African talking. He knew everything about the inner workings of Africa, every country in Africa, always trying to get on side at a couch.
Well, yeah, what do you expose? I mean, these are stuff been said. It's in the muscle.
He can play a good role. He haven't been around us in a long time. Only when he sells something. Even when he goes out to eat. Every time you see him out to eat, you're going to catch him 90% of the time. 90% of the time. It's going to be in a hidden location.
Wait, what?
I've been all over.
He's been all over Africa, but he tried to convince his people.
I've been all over Africa. Show me.
Oh, this is Taharka Bay, And it's not saying, that we agree on everything, being that I have different spiritual beliefs. when it comes to origin. I'm not with, like Moorish philosophy and all of that, but I'm more science. But yeah.
I've been all over Africa. I've been all over.
He's been all over Africa, but he tried to convince his people that follow him to stay away from Africa.
And he never said anything bad about he never had anything. I mean, you gotta understand. Those of us, we've been watching this for years. And that's why some of y'all, why y'all play it? Especially if you've been here long enough. Why y'all play it? Y'all, that's why it's like, huh? You got people like myself, New Possibilities. But see, that's why they try to, they replaced us for real.
In fact, he just went recently because he went to Turkey and get that touch up on that front end. Okay.
I had a loved one to just go to Turkey, get their teeth. Well, they were in a vehicle accident. Yeah, everybody running to Turkey to get. Yeah, loved one had to help get their teeth fixed. Well, they were in a car accident, so. Yeah, and that's why I couldn't have our vacation last year.
A couple of them toes cut off because of that gout.
Well, I don't know about all that, but
I ain't gonna be nice this time. I don't want to be professional no more. Now, Moors, you're gonna have to forgive me. I'm gonna be petty. I sure wish that smack dog. Now remember, it takes you back to the Marcus Sanders who cooperated with the state.
Okay, I'll go all into that. That's why I ain't gonna lie. That's the part that is hard for me that I don't want to believe on that. And I couldn't feel for considering how Tommy was talking, calling black women darkies and all of that. So I felt Tommy was getting a taste of his medicine. But now when you look at it, like with him having this ticklish tether, that was creepy. Like, yeah, it's causing you to look at this all differently now.
Can't get out that house. There's a reason he can't get out that house. He only can go on with.
But who thought he may be just more dangerous or more, he may just be more, or this rhetoric being more dangerous than even Tommy's, just as, if not more dangerous than even Tommy's, especially when you're on the guys. But oh yeah, you go here. He's putting it all out there. Hold on. I believe this was the live stream. Yeah, this is the title now.
That protects him. That's my.
Wait. Yeah. You got a question. Oh. Yeah. This ain't, I'm gonna stay away from this one. This ain't exactly, but he goes into FBS lost their minds. Negro, you ain't no Indian. Oh goodness. These thumbnails, I don't like. I usually don't like with the whole AI, but he's got it all here, all on this channel. And instead of all the things, now my mama was not fond of my mother being a person herself who was in affiliation with the Panthers in Chicago. My mother was not fond of Jesse Jackson. She didn't trust him. I remember her telling us that she felt that he lied when he was with King. Okay, true, but still, though, we can't. He was. That could be debatable. There are some people believe he may have been a part. I don't know. But when Jesse Jackson passed away, I would think, because this is the same guy who came up in here, he still gave props to O.J. Simpson and what he did achieve in this, and that. Now, I don't believe that O.J. Simpson was actually, I know that's debatable. And it's not about me. I don't really care for O.J. Simpson, okay? But I don't believe, just if me considering the information that was presented during the trial and things that were found out and discovered and uncovered after the trial, I would have also came to the conclusion not guilty. All right, I have my own theories beyond who and what was behind the unaliving of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. Yeah, but otherwise, I still not. I don't really care for O.J. Simpson. Yeah, but still, Tariq Nasheed still, when he passed away, Tariq Nasheed still showed him love, respected his contribution, his legacy as an athlete, this, and that. And there is a lot, things can be debated on Jesse Jackson, but I would have expected that Tariq Nasheed still would have given him, as a Black American, all that he was so focused on. Despite, because Jesse Jackson, we can't say that he has contributed. I mean, there's a lot that we can say about Jesse Jackson. And I'm not just saying this as a Chicagoan. I'm just saying, but all that he focused on, Jesse Jackson helped popularize, or just, the whole, games government play, but Jesse Jackson did not create. No, he did not. But I'm just saying, why was that just the focus of all he had to say in regards to Jesse? You understand what I'm saying? Like, yeah, now this is, and right, it's not, yes, Jesse Jackson helped in popularizing that, but he did not create the term African American, and Tarka Bay's right here. But what thing is, why was that the only thing that Tariq Nasheed had to talk about in regards to Jesse Jackson? He gave more recognition to O.J. Simpson and his legacy. Right. Oh, by far, whether he was a plant agent or whatever, by far. Okay, I'm from Chicago. You gotta understand. I knew of Steve Coakley not personally, but as a kid, being a Chicagoan. People up me just coming up, Steve Coakley. He's now more so known in online, exposing the Black Boule and all that. But Steve Coakley, of course, me being from Chicago now. And of course, my mom being who she was. So, I'm up on that. Now, I'm not going to lie. My mama didn't trust, she didn't really like, but I don't think she would have been cool with this, respect. I'm just being honest with what my mama expressed. Yep, that's your daddy. Tariq is your daddy. Get over it. Except, embrace your daddy. Your daddy he has another roast coming up. Roast the Tethers that, he's got another one coming. So why don't y'all go over there and talk so fondly about, talk about your proud Black American lineage by roasting Tethers. He got another stream waiting for you. I don't know. I guess that makes y'all feel proud to be Black American. Proud to be an American. Red, white, and blue. Even at me, for real. Wonder how proud, how patriotic y'all gonna be before this, before Trump's term is up. Gonna really test to see how y'all patriotic y'all. Straight up pulling. Even at me, Uncle Sam wants you. Uncle Sam is waiting. He wants you. We want you. They not like us. Even at Niash. Even at Niash. Oh my gosh. Right. They know that's the only reason they up in here. They up in here for two. They ain't up in here for no Black Americans. Anytime you go to their channels, let's even look at the most outspoken channels on let's check them out since they're so proud to be an American, red, white, and blue. Hold on, let's see how much they talking about. Let's see how pro-Black American they are since they so protective of their lineage, which has been trademarked and still is, but just passed it on. And that was from the jump. Ain't even on the census, but it does have a patent on it. But anyways, let's see. Ism Radio. How much are we talking about Black Americans and their beautiful legacy? Okay, we're talking about here. This. All right. I don't think he's talking about the legacy. Somali. Talking about Somali. I guess we just can't talk about Black Americans without talking about somebody else. Ankle monitors on Haitians. Yeah, but Haitians help. You talking about Haitians? 1804 helped you make some money. You was. Oh, but of course he's just responding to. Why is he responding? Who are these people? How are these people and these callers that don't nobody know? They have no power. They're individual callers who may be scripted, who may be actors. Why should we care? Why should I give a damn that a Nigerian is talking about soul food? Why do I give a damn that they're making fun of soul food? Who gives a shit? What power do they have? I thought this was about pursuit of reparations. Why is he responding to any and every little caller? We're supposed to believe there's always going to be somebody trolling calling. You don't even know if they're who they claim to be. People want to have attention. Even though I believe some of this stuff is scripted, but I'm playing along. Tether, Mexican, plebiscite. This is really. Okay, here's something right here. Who raised Black America's greatest icons? This might be something. All right. I see Tiger Woods, who is mixed, who didn't even. Yeah, Tiger Woods didn't even want to claim Black. Remember? Oh, I get it. He's saying Black. He's defending Black fathers. All right. Okay. All right. So I guess that's a token. All right. Okay. I can't have nothing against that. I can't speak against that. So I guess the link here with Michael Jordan. Okay, they're fathers. Who raised Black Americans' great icons? Fathers. All right. I ain't got nothing against that. But boy, this look like that woman. yeah. I was showing my husband. This thumbnail. He took this from that Blood Sisters. That looked like that actress that was on that Netflix, the Blood Sisters. I was talking about watching. See, he watching them African series. I'm telling you, this thumbnail right here. Hold on, y'all. Hold the phone. Hold up. That's that from the Blood Sisters. He didn't took that face. I guess he found it to be funny. You know how he do. Probably himself watching them African films on Netflix just like I do. What's her name? Kate Henshaw? That's her face. I believe that's her face. He took this woman's face. Wait, let me on the Blood Sisters. Because the faces she was making, like, he done took this woman's face. Because she kind of make that exact same face. He done took this woman's face. You see this? He done took this woman's face. I guess he found it to be funny. And made this, but anyways. He out of order. You see that took this one. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? That's this woman's face. Because that was the face that she kind of made. She's a beautiful woman, though. And that she was wicked in that movie, though. I mean, he took this woman's face. But anyways, getting back on this. How likely is he? And it's interesting how he's talking now. He's talking about black folks, especially if they're African, even more so, especially if they're African or Haitian, especially if they're West Africans or Sub-Saharan African, more likely West African or Haitian. There's a reason. You notice how when they started talking more recently, even more so about the Haitians, Tariq, the Republicans, Fox News, and remember, that's why he been doing them interviews, just like Cynthia G. They've been a part. It's like why is it that like from the jump, him and Cynthia G, they were able to so easily have access to someone like Jesse Lee Peterson for interviews? Think about it. It makes me wonder, are they connected? But the funny thing is, the person who helped him have his break into television, if you will, was Michael Moore, who's a progressive Democrat. You know, director Michael Moore behind Bowling for Columbine and Fahrenheit 9/11 and Capitalism. Michael Moore's a progressive Democrat. But he was in that little show or whatever with him playing a pimp. Now, Tariq Nasheed, who I just showed you, you know, now he has where he claimed that one of being that, you know, he took, you know, went to court and all that with Tariq Nasheed, got to see him personally and all. So he got the paperworks. But he said that he found out that one of Tariq Nasheed's, I believe he said that one of Tariq Nasheed's, or showed that one of Tariq Nasheed's lawyers was a lawyer for Fox. Interesting. But anyways, look at his channel here. Like, what is it? Does this make you, unless you are the type of person who, now I'm not saying, you know, somebody put you down, you know, it's expected, our people, Black Americans, we gonna clap back, but you know, does he have to respond to, who are these callers? Is he purposely seeking people saying something about us? I lived on the north side of Chicago where there were, not that long ago, where there were a lot of African immigrants, even allowed one to stay with me and stuff. And I did not encounter being called a kata and all this. Of course, there's going to always be people thinking they better than you. That's in every, you know. And we know, because even in the United States, we just came up from just a few decades ago, the whole East Coast versus West Coast in hip hop. Something he also was contributing to as K Flex, planning all that dumb shit. So trust me, there's always gonna be people talking shit they better than. Look at this, you know, showing them using urine. This is. So this what makes y'all feel better? I don't need to continuously talk about other group people, especially if these people don't really have any real power or influence. If these people, I don't need to keep talking about, he's talking about this even more so than white racism. Oh yeah, and he'll talk about the Democrats. That's his slick way of getting you to support the Republican. And then when it's time, when they want a Democrat select, He'll talk about a tethered woman, but you were in Brazil. You were giving all this props to Brazilian women. Now he got an issue. Okay, it's funny. Cardi B said Caribbeans and yeah. Oh well, it seemed like he liked Cardi B, but he may talk about the tethered women. Now he want to talk about what's the name having a grandfather from the Bahamas. But weren't you in Brazil? And that's in a whole nother continent, even though it's the Americas, that's in South America. Weren't you? And he wasn't even talking about the black women in Brazil. He was with straight up, predominantly Caucasian women in Brazil, saying how even not just giving them props, not just, but he was talking about how they're nicer and all of it. He had to make these comparisons. Unlike American, he was thinking black American women. So what is it that all that I see is talking about? This is very minstrel. All that I see is just jokes, and he's even going along with Donald Trump's joke on Haitians eating cats. What other joke against black? So what Donald Trump, white racist, has to say about a whole demographic of black people, he is co-signing, he's going along with what Donald Trump said about an entire demographic of black people. Black people who he's talking about in general, not just an individual. This ain't about clapping back at somebody roasting you. Why would you take what Donald Trump said? Would you know that was bullshit? Oh, I'm responding because he said this about soul food. Who gives a shit? You got the biggest mic up in here. You have a following now. You're not just some individual YouTuber up in here doing roasts. You know that you have a following. You know that there are people who see you as a leader, even if you want to denounce that. You have a major influence in social media. Who is this one caller or who? Nobody. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Is this a person that is going to have an effect on, laws being changed? I don't think so. Now, he could probably try to use that with the Democrats that he go at. But he is responding to individual. That's like me deciding, every time a troll say something to me in the comment section of the chat room, I'm going to make a video. I'm going to talk about it for an hour or so. I'm going to roast. And then I'm going to talk about Tether and these people in general. And see, he has a much bigger responsibility, being that he's amassed a huge following. So I don't see anything that makes me feel proud to be Black American. There's no real focus on Black American history. He saves that for the videos that he wants to sell to you. And I ain't mad at him making money. If he put work and all that into stuff, that's fine. That's I like seeing that we support each other. But notice that's the only time he will really go into Black history, And when he did the Hidden Colors series, he wasn't solely talking about Black Americans, but he want to talk about the greatness and all of that. Only time he kept it more strictly FBA, if you will, is with the microphone check. And you had to pay him to get the film made, and then pay him. And we actually paid for that. We actually own that. I admit. We got it when he first released it. Because me being very much into hip hop. So before it was edited. Supposedly, when he edited it, it's all AI. Okay, even on his Tariq Nasheed channel. Obviously, he had to go away from it for a minute because I'm assuming he got at least one strike. Okay. Sassy Shields. And does this make y'all, do y'all need to hear other people always being put down? Does this make y'all feel, just say y'all want to get your live phone to, just say, and there are those who, they just want to talk shit about other people. They just want to talk shit. It makes them feel better about themselves. Just like you had those who getting off on, hearing black women put down, "Ooh, at least the heat is off us." That's what they believe, not realizing that they are also, these are your, because we're a reflection of each other, But that's what traumatized people do. So this really, and see, you got to concoct AI images. Why are you even needing to concoct AI images? Showing people on a dirty mattress. But he's just responding. He's just clapping back to an individual whose face he cannot see, who has no power. For all you know, that could be a white person. Even I believe that these are actors, some of these callers. And he does this continuously. How often is he focusing on Black American greatness? Or what he calls foundational Black Americans? Why are you not talking about the founders more? Why is it only when they got to go to court or something like that? Now, I've done my videos in defense of Bill Cosby, but I was actually defending his legacy as well. Why is it's only when they got to, like P. Diddy going to jail or something, you want to talk about him? There is nothing that is really, for the most part, this is just people, this is for people who they see other people, another demographic of Black people, predominantly Black, and he has his own little slick way of defending Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been trying to put a halt on reparations for those in Evanston. What has Tariq Nasheed said about that? Nothing, I'm pretty sure. And even these other channels, okay, like this one here, supposedly it used to be FBA news updates. This was the channel that used the racist term chimping out in referencing Godfrey. Let's see. Arawak tethered, just like I showed you, there's nothing that's really, you can use the red, white, and blue. All you see, they just want you. This is not a pro-Black. This is agenda. It's not even really, it's really, this is more about trying to get you to support your country. And it's not even so much really supporting your country, but supporting the American military. And supporting what actions I believe they want to take on some of these Black nations. And they want you to be on board. And they want you to see them as them, and they not like us. Okay, there's something here addressing white racism, but see how they are so in promotion. It's no longer the red, black, and green. It's more so the red, white, and blue. Oh wait, notice how a year ago this channel was talking a little differently. It looked like a year ago or so. As you go further back in time, well, maybe I'm wrong. So who are these channels? Notice how they just pop up out of nowhere and bam, overnight, they got tons of views. Like that one Bruick female. I was subscribed to her, I remember. She wasn't getting no views. And she was on this pro-Black, we all, a tip that I believe was Pan-African. Now she's FBA and she's blonde. Who are these people? And this is what's tripped out. Now, I'm seeing here, yes, who are these people? This is what's tripped out. Now, you remember the whole controversy with Lisa Cabrera years ago, and people felt my sister Radical was wrong. Now, I didn't have nothing against Lisa Cabrera initially. I had nothing against her. She's familiar with me, and I'm familiar with her. But I remember when Radical had pointed out, with Phil Advise's woman not being, because Phil Advise was actually on my panel when he had said that his woman made us believe she was Black Latina. I didn't question them people in the chat rooms. I was like getting mad at people in the chat room because they kept bringing it up while we just chilling. Phil Advise came up. I never had an issue with him. You know, I really didn't know about him like making videos in the past calling Black women hyenas. That's not from when I knew him. But he was always cool with me. And I respected what he was doing, you know, from what I had seen. And because it looked like he, you know, really cleaned it up with the channel and yeah, it was blowing up. And I was really happy for him. And he came through when I used to do the live streams and they were a little more popping, my channel, my original channel. And or was that on the Hangout channel? But yeah, anyways, you know, when people was questioning him and Phil Advise. And I was like, wait, let's get this out the way. Let's get this out the way. Everybody, you know, people in the chat room, they kept on, you know, his wife ain't, you know. And so he just, you know, I wouldn't, if he would have said his wife was non-Black, I still would have, because there are people I've, you know, been cool with, you know. Of course, I'm more for Black on Black love, but, you know, I still love you as a brother, right? But he said that, you know, implied that, well, when he met her, he thought she was Black. I said, so you're saying she's a Black Latina? And he's like, yes. And I was like, okay, so that's the end of that. Can we move on now? So I was, in a way, kind of protected Phil Advise, you know, because I didn't like people in the chat room was coming at him. And we didn't know anything about his wife. Most of us didn't know. So I don't know who that person in the chat room was. Yeah, but then when it came out and, you know, the radical sister, you know, and my sister, you know, because, yeah. And Lisa Cabrera started going, you know, saying something. She said something kind of nasty, kind of towards almost like she's personally offended. So I had went over and Lisa Cabrera, I said, you know, I knew about your channel through the Sister Radical. She was suggesting your channel. She was referencing, telling people subscribe to your channel, supporting your channel. And so I was like, this is rather nasty. You know, okay, I understand Phil advises your friend, that's fine. But I was like, you know, that was kind of brow raising. Like these people, some people are in cahoots or something. Because I can understand if Phil Advisor was upset or this one, but you know, that was kind of odd. But yeah, he didn't have to. What was the point of lying? You know what I'm saying? I would have still been cool and supportive, you know, and would have, so you know, allowed him to speak on the panel because we was just chilling anyway. But then, you know, we remember the whole thing. People was talking about Lisa Cabrera, is she this person, and you know, but it eventually died down. But yeah, and even like when you consider the name Cabrera, but I don't know where she's going. Y'all said, I think y'all did say that she is on that FBA tip herself. Interesting. So that's really questionable because you remember how people was questioning her background some years ago. Interesting. So that's how I'm saying. A lot of these people up in here, and see, I couldn't really speak against because I will say, at least with Lisa Cabrera's channel, from what I've seen, I can't say that for the most part she's had anything negative. Like, you know what I'm saying? So even if we ain't cool with each other now, you know, because there are things that are questionable. I can't say that her channel has been toxic. She just basically the news and what seems to be from what I last seen. But yeah, that's how that doesn't make. In other words, if you're on this FBA, it don't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So that's telling me that some of these people up in here, and I even think about what went down with my live stream with certain people causing disruptions. I definitely believe, I'm certain. That's why I don't have the panels like I used to. You got some plants and agents. Because I found out certain people, they were going from channel to channel, starting beats. They was in Psychopathias. They was in, you know, certain people who I allowed on my panel. And I realized that we got quite a few, I believe, agents, plants, agents of unnecessary chaos and division up in here. And they've been replacing all our black asses up in here. Talking about Tasha better apologize. Oh my goodness. Well, she already has. And that's just telling me. So I got a question, even with Tasha K. Why would you be apologizing? It makes me wonder, was this scripted from the jump? Could it have been a thing that you got off cold and forgot, let your emotions? You were only supposed to be gossiping against Black people, not defending even your family. Because she ain't say a damn thing against Black Americans. She talked about the FBA move. So why the hell would you be apologizing somebody coming at your husband and your kids? That shit is questionable. So I can't trust her. Well, I never did. So let's cut the shit. I knew when she was all demanding that people show their face before coming up and talking with her, but then with Jessica X, she let that slide. She let almost as if these people know each other up in here. Like they all in cahoots with each other. They all looking out for each other. Even if they don't like each other. Like for instance, Tariq Nasheed, Yvette Carnell, they can't stand each other. But I believe that a lot of these people, they pretty much got some of the same puppet masters. They just, it's like a game of chess. Well, they're all part of the same sorority, fraternity, as I call the YouTube boule. We got a lot of misinformation agents, I believe, agents of chaos and division. I believe that, we got a lot of, it's a lot of really questionable people up in here. A lot of really questionable people. We got a lot of controlled opposition. They may come off as if they're conspiracy theorists even. I still believe that, Candace Owens. No, ain't no way. When I consider people like me, like Sister Radical, she lost all 5 channels in one day. They came at 4 of my channels. Only one I was able to get back. Now, what am I saying that that's controversial? You can't tell me. Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, it's clear that he lied. I was like, why you have to lie, dude? Like, he knew that I was cool with let me see, who was that? Mark, and he was one of the coolest brothers up in there, and he was in an interracial relationship. So why you have to? So he knew I wouldn't have been tripping over that, just like I was cool with the female Jeannie B, even though her husband was white. I'm gonna still say what I say and tell you what I believe on that, but I still love you, or I still, you know what I'm saying. So that then means you want to be deceptive to your audience. So it wasn't about me. You wanted to be deceptive. See, man, that's what's messed up. Yeah, that's what I heard. I'm not gonna click into this, but the topic title I can tell. And how could she be on the FBA tip when a couple of years ago people was like trying to expose on her? It wasn't the fact, yeah. And even with the name Cabrera, like now when they said that she sounded like a white woman and all that, I said no, I wouldn't say that. Because her accent, it's not just accent, but even her tone of voice. I would think Black or mixed with Black. But that ain't making sense right now. That's not that. I mean, come on, y'all. This stuff, this is questionable. This is not about defending Black Americans. This is not about, stop acting like you're not offended by Godfrey. You're not offended. What is this really about? Like, for real. All these channels, everyone I'm looking at is, of course, with this, what's up with this Black News and Facts. All I had to see was that referring to using chimping out. What Black person say stop chimping out and all that shit? What Black person says that? And that's the thing. You desensitize people by dehumanizing, make them into caricatures. Where so the only time you think about a Jamaican, you're thinking about some or an African, you're thinking about some image with flies on their faces. Why are we doing this shit that white folks been doing to us for years? Why are we doing that? Rose is in our culture. When it is the culture if this is all we about. And also when he got that from me when I was talking about, you know, the culture roasting and all that, because it was very shortly after I did a live stream a couple of years ago on that. Like a week after that, Tariq talked on the same thing. Yeah, it was people were putting out what they believed was her picture. The thing is, though, I gotta say, in all fairness, you know, Lisa Cabrera, for the most part, from what I've seen on her channel, can't say I've been clicking over there. It's not a continuation of toxic shit. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that I disagree with. So why would, you know, I even care? Why should I even care to target or even, you know, why would I care to even like expose unless it's something that I know for a matter of fact? And I don't, and that's the case where I can't say I care that much to look into it. But I ain't mad at those who did, you know, was suspect. But yeah, even before that, the way that she had before people started exposing the way she kind of went at Sister Radical, that was brow raising because I had subscribed to her channel. I learned about her through Sister Radical promoting her. And I had, you know, posted to kind of remind her to kind of hit her conscience a little bit. Like, you know, I learned about your channel through the Radical Sister. So, yeah, that's all I really got to say on it. I don't trust Tasha K, no. And they could be trying to, like, use people to teach a lesson. See, we going to come with you. And you see, I don't give a crap. Okay? What you going to do? Have another one of my, what God, diss me? God, please. I've been in here too long. I done been through the fire and took on the beast up in here. All right? And that's the thing. When you see, I'm not one of these people up in here with something to lose. Like, because I see that some of these people, they dependent. This is their income. But don't get too comfortable too long, because how long do you think this going to last? Once their little agenda, and I don't feel that they are, it's no coincidence, as more and more alliances are formed with the African nations. See, and that's the thing too. People don't think that the United States could become a third world country. I'm not saying, this is not about me wishing doom and gloom. You know, like some people could think I'm being a traitor. Yeah, you talking that shit now, but you gotta understand. Like for instance, a lot of our rubber comes from the Congo. Let's say if these resources are cut, let's say if, and I'm not saying that Gog and Magog or teaming up with China and Russia is the answer for African nations, but everything is caused and allowed to happen for a certain reason. I'm not saying that we should put our trust in these African leaders who are, let's say, I'm not with the Muslim faith or anything like that. I'm not saying to put your trust in any man, but I'm not gonna stand in what, you know, because the Most High, he'll use, including Donald Trump, anybody, you know what I'm saying? In the end, whatever Satan tried to devise, in the end, it's gonna all work out as part of Yah's will in the end, including what Satan tries to do. Just like there have been kings in the scriptures, like Nebuchadnezzar. When you can, the Medes, the Persians, yeah, when you can, there have been rulers, even Pharaoh of Egypt, who have been used. It said that the Most High hardened his heart to show his power and his might. So when you see how stubborn Trump is, yeah, you're going to see all this in the end. It's going to work out in our favor. But people, so I wouldn't be so attached, because you don't know what's going to happen. Because they're making moves, big moves, like just in cutting off France. Nations like Burkina Faso. And they can't have it. I think even with that movie Black Panther, it may have been throwing hints. What was it, that vibranium or something that they had hidden in, you know, in the fiction of Wakanda? Were they really referencing uranium? Or you understand? And so, in them cutting off connections with the Western alliances like France and stuff, that is detrimental. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they got to find reasons. This is my belief. And they got to get you on board. They got to get you on. This is my belief. What? Who said I support Trump? What? Where'd you get that from? Hell no, I don't support Trump. Now you stop playing. Where you get that? No, what I'm saying is all that this is happening, whatever it is that Trump, whoever may try to do, it's going to backfire on them. I don't think you get what I'm saying. It's not going to work the way they think. Everything is going to work as y'all's plan. Everything. Whatever they may be trying, because I definitely believe, oh no, this is the contrary. The contrary. No. I wouldn't be, if I was supporting Trump, I wouldn't be calling out or pointing out how I believe Tariq Nasheed is supporting Trump. No. I do believe that everything, you got to understand what I'm saying. Like with the Pharaoh of Egypt during the time of the Exodus, the initial Exodus. This is not about me siding with Pharaoh, but I understand because the Bible spoke on how it was the Most High who hardened his heart. And I didn't understand that. Like, why? Because as I said, I believe we may even be alive to witness the downfall of the Western civil, So I don't think it is wise at all. I know it's not wise to be trying to, and that's the thing. They don't want us connecting with any Black foreigners, they don't want us connecting with the Haitians. They don't want us. See, and I think, now if I'm to play along, I would think that Tasha K slipped up and didn't stick with the program and allowed, I guess this is what, and allowed it to get personal when she wasn't supposed to, at least by them. Just like when Tommy Sotomayor slipped up and started going into, that's why they removed his ass from YouTube. It wasn't about what he said on Black women. It wasn't about shit. In that case, Black women would have had him removed. They were trying for years, even had a petition. Nothing worked. It was when he went into talking about a certain group of, he referred to him bagel eating. That's when they moved his ass, not only from YouTube, but Twitter. Now, I don't know if he's able to come back. But now she's automatically apologizing. Right, exactly. They're all gonna fall. I don't think, I believe there were certain things allowed in history because of us breaking the covenant and giving over to the Gentiles, because that's what the Most High cannot lie. And he said that would happen. We wanted to be these other nations. There you go. But we are now in the time of the awakening of the dry bones. And it's more than just knowing who we are, but by the way, Truth Unedited, and I'm going to go and check this out now. Truth Unedited has another video. I'm finna watch it. Let me direct y'all to it. You really want to know who we are. Subscribe to this channel. Yeah. So here's another one. Just gotta share this one. What is Black culture? Now, of course, he has people who disagree with him too. But yeah, I like where this is going. The fact, yeah. So I haven't watched this one yet, so I'm about to watch this one here. Just type in Truth Unedited. You may find yourself binge watching his videos. What is Black culture? But I say go a little further back. Yeah, but see, they don't want us to be woke. Notice how they talk against woke. But see, we're in the time of the awakening of the dry bones, and they don't want us to be woke. And they definitely don't want us to be connecting with brothers and sisters of Yasharel around the world, many being in the African continent. And around the world. And, they don't want that. If y'all don't see what's going on, it is so very obvious, because it was really about the lineage and representing, and that's what would be more so the focus. You can talk about what makes us different and all that without all when is he going to stop? How many times is he going to just be, do you understand what I'm saying? I bet you they probably talk more about Black American greatness on the Godfrey podcast than he does. He is not focusing. And when he does, yeah, he had the little series, to make you feel good about being Black with the hidden colors, even though he wasn't just focused on Black Americans. But usually he's going to have you pay for that. Why can't he also, why is there not, he's not even trying to balance it out. He's not even trying to talk about, Black American history and all that. Because you know what? Also, he knows his audience. He knows that y'all ain't trying to. Now, I know when I come up in here, I talk about, who has Yasharel. I know that the views may be less. But he ain't even trying. If he ain't getting no view, I know certain things I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to get as many views. Once upon a time, I did. But I know I got to keep, at least trying. He's not, and see, because if you really care, that's what you're going to do. But he's not even, no, because he knows his audience, and all y'all want to hear is people getting roasted. He knows y'all ain't trying to hear about, Johnson, you know what I'm saying, or Black American legends, and unless it's a thing of, oh, see, y'all stole our swag and we better than you, and right. And when this whole agenda, whatever it is that they, let's say when this term is up or whatever, it's gonna be on to the next. Remember, I told you first. No, I didn't say this first. But it's gonna be something else. Yeah. What's gonna be the next train to hop on? Oh, but last thing, okay, because I told my husband, okay, he didn't, okay. Can Tariq Nasheed, can he put himself on the coon train now? I'm sorry, but hold on. What was this? Oh gosh, was it Haven? What was this recently? What was this very recently? I said, Lord, I ain't even listened to the rest of it. I gotta listen to the rest though. Because this though, like really, seriously. Wait, what's it on mine? Okay, here we go. You see where I stopped right here? I said, oh Lord, I gotta come back to this though. Haven Bullets. Oh my goodness. Tariq Nasheed said white Europeans didn't come to America as fleers. This what we doing now. This what we doing. You jump into defend white, Europeans like this. Well, no, he's just stating facts. Okay. In all fairness.
He tried to say, well, America would not have been America if Europeans didn't flee. Let's be very clear. Those Europeans that left Europe, they didn't come over as refugees. They weren't seeking shelter from a pre-established nation.
Let's be clear. Why? Goodness. Let's be clear. He wanted to give clarity on that. He wanted to delineate. He wanted to give clarity on that for sure. Like, don't even try to compare. Oh, goodness gracious. Wait, what? In other words, when your prophecy, I'm not no prophet. No, don't call me. We are not to call people prophets today. I'm just a perceptive person. It's proven wrong. What are you talking about? You will assign it to the next president. You can't. What? I'm not trusting any of these politicians, Democrat, Republican, or whatever. Because the Bible said we're not supposed to be. And even if you do ask somebody who means well and try to do the right thing, they're gonna be taken out. See, y'all thinking like Shorty Womp thinking I was supporting Trump. Oh, now stop playing. I don't know where y'all getting at. I called Biden out and I called Trump out. I ended up getting a strike though with the thing I did on Biden. Got a strike on my channel. That's all. So I'm gonna call. Yeah, you don't get selected if you ain't part of the agenda. I chill. People. I try to stay on code with the Obamas and stuff. And like with our black mayor. I try to stay on code. I'm not gonna. Because, I know that some of these people, I think some of you, they may even they may have good intentions, like with our mayor of Chicago. Yeah, but they got to eventually go find out. They got to get with the program. But I'm like, yeah, I couldn't even listen. I didn't even listen past this. I said, Lord, I just had my husband listen. But then he was trying to get me to listen to something Officer Tatum. I said, no, I'm not trying to where I'm trying to justify white folks in it. Yeah, so my husband wanted to one-up me and listen to this old Officer Tatum. I said, oh, no, I'm sorry. I just, like when I had my husband listen to this, and he had me listen to some mess that Officer Tatum, no, I know I'm wrong for having you listen to something, but no, you can't. You're very wrong for having me to listen to this. That I couldn't go any further. I mean, it's not funny. It's really not. Not with that Officer Tatum, because that's why I was getting mad. I'm not even trying. I don't know why my husband keep trying to get me to listen to and this stuff in regards to the whole with Nolan Wells. Like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not trying to. No. Not trying to get angry now. I'm already angry over this stuff. Or getting angry. Yeah, I remember that with Tucker Carlson. I was like, I said, wait a minute. I got a Tariq Nasheed and white Europeans. I said, you can't tell me that Tariq Nasheed is now at the point where he's defending European. Oh my God. Is he seriously? Is he defending colonizers and stuff? Like, seriously? Hold on. Let's say this again. Is that? It's something if I could go in time just to see 5 years from now how he's going to be talking. That would be very, very.
He tried to say, well, America would not have been America if Europeans didn't flee. Let's be very clear. Those Europeans that left Europe, they didn't come over as refugees. They weren't seeking shelter from a pre-established nation.
Because I'm gonna have to listen to with this. I'm gonna have to listen. I can't listen to no Officer Tatum shit. I can't. I will get very, very pissed off. Yeah. My husband was trying to, after I had him, he tried to have me listen to Officer. No, no, absolutely not. No, cause for real, because you Are white people even taking him seriously? Come on now. Because there are some people, they really believe what they be. I think Larry Elder is one of the people really believe a lot of what he be saying. And even like with the Thomas Sowell types. But some of these guys, it's like, come on now. You know they don't believe shit that they're saying. Yeah, and it was all giddy over Tucker Carlson giving a shout out. But I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna go listen to Truth Unedited. I'm eventually listen to the rest of Haven Bernardez's video because I gotta hear this in full of context. This is the last. Yeah, because when I I didn't listen to the rest of this because I let my husband. I was like, "Did you hear this?" Yeah, my husband. So he comes at me. Well, check this out. The office and Tatum. Like, no, why you trying to get me to? That is where I'm going to get mad. You know what I'm saying? Especially being that that's a little even more so mainstream with the shit he talking. That's where I'm gonna really get mad. And you know, just like with that talking about with the Emmett Till, that one white dude. Yeah, and I don't want. There's a point. Responding to this is enough. But y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah. Yeah, and it's not saying that, but yeah, they swear about Thomas Sowell, don't they? Maybe something, yeah. But yeah, when I spotted that and that popped up, I didn't even know who this Matt Walsh person was. Stuff like that gets me pissed. Some of this stuff is just, you know, I feel I can reach, but stuff like that, yeah, that's when I get even. But I am getting agitated. I'm getting agitated. I think what's agitating me more with this whole FBA stuff is I know that this is not it. The responses are fake. I think that's what's but they want, let's say, outsiders to believe that this is real. That's what's bothered. You know what I'm saying? I know that this is fake. These responses are fake. That's what's bothering me. And people are pretending. I think that's what's irking me. And it's like, why is this in such an abundance? Like, I feel it's making me feel as if I'm on another planet or some shit. Because, yeah, this is how I'm feeling now. Like, YouTube is not relatable. I think it's like I'm going through a middle-age crisis through YouTube. Because I can't read. I don't feel people in social media are relatable anymore. And it's not just an age generation thing. I don't feel whether the people are my age or whatever. It's like, I don't feel like people are real up in here. Or I refuse to believe that these are real people. No, I know my people. I know, I know enough to know. Yeah, I don't even think that white people believe that he believes what he's saying. Like on Tulsa. I only listened to a little bit of that. I had to totally cut off. You know, my husband tried to get me to listen. Yeah, my husband now, he's shaking his head at see what my husband following on that I'm really trying to avoid knowing details on. Unless it's something that we really do need to know. What do you say? I never heard of that dead internet theory. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, where's all the real people at? That's some new possibilities. Like, oh my goodness, they drive us. I can imagine how people felt. Let's say who were active, like maybe even my mom and stuff. I can imagine how people who were, let's say, really active during that period, that pro-black period, like let's say of the late 60s and early 70s, I can imagine how they probably felt by like the 80s. By the time, and everybody is similar, they probably had a very similar feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like what happened well, it was kind of voiced in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. That scene, which was part of my favorite scene from the movie with Clarence Williams III. Yes, and well, he was like a remnant, what was left. Those people are the like the silent generation, you know, like the Huey P. Newtons and all of that, Clarence Williams. And then he himself had a white wife. Had Jan Brady, Eve Plum was his wife. That was the funniest scene. They had them kids. Yeah, but when he said they went in there with guns, they came out with jobs. Now I'm not saying that we should, be like that, but I'm just saying. But I can imagine how they probably felt. Like, and then especially when it's just within a short period of time and you see people flip like that. That's what I'm tripping over. Like, some of these people was just talking differently. It was a totally different atmosphere, even just 5 years ago. At least I felt there was some people. Yeah, we've been having raccoons, but now it's like everybody. But you still got sisters like me around. So I will get back to you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your day. Much peace and much love, family.